Kicking off the final day of college football's regular season in Boca with Western Kentucky in town. Tyson Helton, Austin Reed looking for potentially a spot in the conference championship game. Well, the folks here at FAU, they just want another game. And to get another one, they need to win today to become bowl eligible. Welcome to college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. The FAU Owls hosting the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And Western comes in tied with North Texas for second place. But in order to play UTSA in the conference championship game, they need a win today and a North Texas loss at Rice. That game kicks off in a couple of hours. Great to have you with us with Turbo Robert Turbin. I'm Chris Hassel. Really not much more you can ask for out of a game on the last day of the regular season. Both teams with a ton to play for. Absolutely.
For Western Kentucky, obviously already bowl eligible, having an opportunity to play for a conference championship with the win today. And then for Florida Atlantic, right? If they win, they get to go to a bowl game, which is really huge for this program.
Good luck to that FAU defense stopping Austin Reed, one of the most prolific quarterbacks in the country, top 5 in pretty much every important statistic nationally.
Hard to find the adjectives to describe how great this quarterback has been this year. He's been getting better every single week. His precision in the pocket is really good. He's able to deliver the ball accurate with defenders in his face, one of his best qualities.
But the other quarterback, N'Kosi Perry, is banged up. He hurt his throwing hand a couple of weeks ago. He continues to play through it. But as you can see, talking with Rodney Burnett, our referee before the game, that right hand is bandaged, and he doesn't want to take too many risks with the referee there. A very soft handshake.
Well, it's rare to see a quarterback play in a football game with a hurt thumb, right? The thumb is the most critical part of a quarterback being able to grip the football and deliver the ball with accuracy and also taking care of it. We know that he's had his struggles this season fumbling the football, so it'll be interesting to see how they navigate that today.
Adapt him up with the left hand instead of using that right hand. Now the backup quarterback is Willie Taggart Jr. That's this guy's son, Willie Taggart, who played at Western Kentucky and coached for Western Kentucky, now facing his former team. On the other side, Tyson Helton. He says Willie is great in these must-win situations, hoping to return to the Conference USA title game for a second straight season. Trico Wiper Blades weather report, and it is unseasonably hot and humid here. They normally don't play day games, but it's almost winter, so they thought, okay, why not? Well, near record highs today. The record high is 86. Right now it's 85, and it feels like 90 plus as we start the ball game. Western Kentucky will have the football first. Papa John's starting lineups. Austin Reed, 40 total touchdowns this season.
Austin Reed looking to have a big game today. Talked to the offensive coordinator, Ben Harbuckle. Felt like their tempo, right? Their tempo type of offense. Certainly looking to use that tempo to take advantage of this Florida Atlantic defense today.
And FAU defense, they got torched a week ago at Middle Tennessee, and all kinds of time for Reed to throw on first down, and a dangerous pass. It was intended for Michael Matheson. There is a penalty marker on the field.
Looks like one of the defenders might have got his hand on a face mask there in the secondary. We'll see what the call is here. Saw a helmet come off during that play.
So Western Kentucky's offense as we get the
foul,
call.
Face mask, defense number 31. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down. Number 11 does not have to leave the game due to helmet foul.
That's Dwight Toombs, the great safety that they get for the personal foul.
Yeah, you see it right there. Malachi Corley trying to run a corner route there and just gets his hands up too high, grabs the face mask, and it's going to be 15 yards every time.
This Western Kentucky offense, second in the conference, averaging 36 points per game. Davion Irvin Poindexter, the starting running back, because Kyle Robichaux, their leading rusher, is out. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, our Papa John starting lineups for FAU, led by defensive coordinator Todd Orlando, who said they are going to empty the tank, really leaning on Evan Anderson, the big nose tackle, to have a bounce-back performance this week.
It's going to be key for this defensive line to be able to put pressure on Austin Reed, try to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Man, when he has time to throw the football, he's a dangerous threat.
Time once again, and what a catch. Matheson was going down to the ground. Thankfully for him, the ball was in the right spot, and he makes the play.
You see right here, time in the pocket for Austin Reed, and Michael Matheson coming out of the break, lost his footing there, but able to keep his concentration to haul in a first down catch. Excuse me, sort of a first down.
Yeah, they mark it a yard short. So it'll be 3rd down and 1, substitutions on both sides, and the play clock is under 10.
And this tempo right here plays into the favor of FAU.
And it's going to be a quarterback draw, and he'll pick up the first down. Reed has rushed for nearly 200 yards this season and 7 touchdowns, so he can, when called upon, call his own number.
Yeah, they don't run the football a lot with Austin Reed, but certainly in 3rd and short, 4th and short situations, goal line even, they'll give him an opportunity. You see him having 7 touchdowns on the year rushing. It's a huge part of that.
So 1st and 10, 49-yard line, opening drive of the game. And it's a handoff, and that'll be a TFL. Marquise Stepp getting his 16th carry of the season, and pushed back by Courtney McBride.
Courtney McBride, sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, stepping in there and making a nice play. And this defense feels like if they can mix up their looks against Western Kentucky today, cause some confusion, they'll be able to make good stops in the run game and certainly make some plays in the pass game as well.
No gain on that play. 2nd and 10. They fake the handoff. They go with the screen. That's Dalvin Smith. The ball is out. FAU's got it. Big play made by the defense. Lantrell Jean.
Well, they tried the quick screen out there to the left. Great pursuit by the FAU defense. That was a big key going into this football game. They love to get their playmakers. Western Kentucky loves to get their playmakers the ball in space. You see a good example of it right there. But Jalen Joyner running that thing down, forcing a fumble. That's his 2nd forced fumble of the year. Giving the ball to this FAU offense. A great start for Florida Atlantic.
And now N'Kosi Perry has not thrown an interception in his last 5 starts, but with that banged up throwing hand, has had fumble issues. Had a couple last week. Dumps that off to the tight end. More like an H-back for FAU. That pass was completed to Carter Boatwright. As we look at the starting lineups for FAU as they go fast, brought to you by Papa John's. They want to try to run it against this Western Kentucky defense as well. They think that they can be got on the ground. That ball is out in the backfield, and falling on it is LeJante Wester. Big loss on the play, but they think they can run the ball on Western Kentucky. It's just that most teams get so far behind them early, they have to go to the pass. A loss of 10 yards on this play.
Yeah, Wester just trying to put the ball away, just loses it. And this is what you can't have if you're Florida Atlantic offensively. Negative plays, plays that are going to beat yourself. The less opportunities you can give Western Kentucky, the more advantage you have into winning this football game today.
Yeah, Western already the best team in the country at forcing turnovers. They forced 30 of them this season. Can't have an unforced turnover against them. Perry rolls out of pressure, directs traffic, and then tosses it out of bounds. And that negative 10-yard fumble kills the drive.
Well, that was a screen play to the right side. It looked like they had it set up nicely, and Nkosi didn't even look out that way to throw it. Seemed like he wanted to go downfield, but nobody even ran a route. All the receivers were blocking. Must have been a miscommunication there offensively.
Did not look good throwing the football there. It seemed like he was in quite a bit of pain.
Well, even on that first catch to Boatwright on first down, it seemed like he pushed the ball more so than throwing it.
That punt is going to go into the end zone off the foot of Riley Thompson. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Couple of drives, nothing doing yet, but we do expect a lot of scoring today in Boca Raton between FAU and Western Kentucky.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by The Home Depot. How doers get more done. By Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Coyote Tractor.
It was all Western Kentucky a season ago. That game played in Bowling Green, Kentucky. It snapped FAU's 4-game winning streak last season. FAU does lead the series 9-4. Tyson Hilton and Western playing for a lot today.
You know, it's interesting. I asked both coaches if they took anything from last year's film, and normally you would. Both coaches felt like the teams were so much different this year that there was really not much to take.
Let's take a look at Turbo's keys to the game.
Absolutely. For Western Kentucky, it's about scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They're under 65% this year. And for the defensive side of the ball, limit the explosive plays for Florida Atlantic. And then for Florida Atlantic, offensively, control the football. You got to be able to run the football against Western Kentucky.
And defensively, I know the coaches told us, and you think it's really important today, is tackling in space.
Absolutely.
They had their worst tackling game of the season last week.
Yeah, they did, and it felt like the cold played a part of it, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to line up, you got to strap it up, and you got to play ball.
Deep down the sideline, and good coverage. That pass was intended for Dalvin Smith, who had that fumble on the last drive, the lost fumble for Western Kentucky. They had him on single coverage. But this FAU defense is good, one of the better defensive units in the conference.
Yeah, smoked that time on the coverage. One of the best corners in this conference. You see defensive coordinator Todd Orlando, and we spoke to him before the game. This defense only giving up 18 points a game at home, and has some blitz packages lined up for this Western Kentucky offense. Wants to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, see if they can make some plays.
They're sending 5. Reed has to throw it between a couple of receivers. If that was going to go to the man he was looking at, it might have been a pick 6. Probably smart of him to throw that to the wayside.
Well, this time they bring 5. They're going to slant the 2 guys on the right side, loop the inside backer on the outside to the right. Didn't get there in time, but caused enough confusion there for Austin Reed to be able to throw an incomplete pass, and now they're in the 3rd and long.
That pass was originally going to go to the running back Davion Urban Poindexter, but FAU was sitting on it. 3rd and 10. And that one is almost picked off. TJ Young, the vocal leader of this team, has a couple of pick 6s this season, and he almost got a 3rd pick.
TJ Young read this route like a book. Great break on the football right there. Got to catch those. That's why you play DB. Move to nickel. Was out earlier in the season with an injury. Move to nickel, which is the hardest defensive back position to play. He's taken on that role with no issues at all, and a great example of it right there.
Tom Eller to punt it away. That's 2 drives for Western Kentucky. A turnover and a punt. LeJontay Wester, fair catch at the 24-yard line. So, a couple of drives, and Todd Orlando's defense has been fantastic. They do have a flag on the field back near the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, face mask, Dickinson, number 31. 15-yard penalty would be assessed at the dead ball spot.
So now they're going to be able to start from the 39-yard line. It was a 43-yard punt, but in essence, it only nets 28 with the penalty, and Tyson Helton is not happy. No score with 9:33 to go here in the first. Senior day here at FAU. Usually teams have 10, maybe 20, sometimes even 30 seniors. Only 6 scholarship seniors on this very young team, including N'Kosi Perry getting a kiss from his daughter. Pretty cool with the owl symbol there. And Nick Weber, boy, big piece of this team.
Spoke with Coach Taggart before this football game about his seniors, which ones have stood out to him, and really gave praise to all of them, and they've had a huge impact on this program.
Throwing on first down and out wide for a first down conversion to Jaquan Burton.
Both these teams run similar offenses where they want to get the ball out of their quarterback's hands quickly into their playmakers' hands and then allow them to make plays and get yards after the catch afterwards. The key is which team is going to be able to get the explosive plays and challenge this defense down the field.
They run it straight up the middle. That's Larry McCammon. And after a pickup of 13 on first down, they get 6 more, maybe 7.
Right back up to the line of scrimmage. Nice carry right there by Larry McCammon. And, man, if they can do that on a consistent basis today, it's going to be a long day for West Kentucky.
And a first down run. And they say they're much better when they go tempo. And that's what they're trying to do right now.
Absolutely. And the benefit of being able to run the football on this Western Kentucky defense is you control the clock, you control time of possession, and you keep Austin Reed and that Western Kentucky offense off the field.
N'Kosi Perry running it for a couple. Tyson Summers, the defensive coordinator at Western Kentucky, said, boy, we hope he doesn't run it a bunch in this game. He's been deciding not to run it this season as much. That was his 81st run. But they think that FAU could be a lot better if Perry took off more. And maybe with that hurt hand that's hindering him as well. Fake the screen. He'll run it for a second straight time. 5-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Nice carry there by N'Kosi Perry. Just a simple draw play. He actually has the option to throw it out to Larry if he wants to. It just depends on how many defenders are out there. You see him carrying the football in his left hand. You're going to see that a lot. That's his offhand, though. Potentially could be trouble later on in the game.
Ball starts. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That's on Brendan Bordner, the left tackle, one of those seniors. So that'll be 3rd and 8 against Tyson Summers' defense. A Broyles Award nominee. He was a defensive analyst at Florida a season ago, defensive coordinator at Colorado before that, but he actually saw this FAU team and N'Kosi Perry firsthand at Florida last season. FAU went in there, played a really good game early on in the season, pushed Florida quite a bit.
Well, he's come in and changed up some things, made some adjustments on the defensive side of the football. But that right there, N'Kosi Perry running it, was his biggest fear going into this game, and you can already see why.
5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Well, that's another foul on the offense. So wipe out a first down run, and now they are pushed back toward the edge, maybe even out of field goal range if they don't pick up 10 yards or so here. Way back at the 45 now. And they get Chaz Neal, the right tackle. So a penalty on the left side and then a penalty on the right with Neal holding.
See Neal, boom, just gets out of his leverage there, grabs the jersey. That's going to be a call every time. But we talked about this in the first drive now. You can't beat yourself if you're FAU.
I'm not sure if Perry was trying to throw that away. I don't think so. It just sailed on him. And it's clear that he is being affected by that hand injury. I don't think there's any doubt about it when we've seen him throw the ball today that it is hurting him and affecting him severely, even more than last week.
Well, he absolutely has no zip on the football. You see every ball that he throws is wobbly. The ball is sailing on him. And interesting that Willie Taggart is going with N'Kosi Perry. He may have to make a choice here and go with his son, the healthier quarterback, if they want to have an opportunity to win this football game.
And Willie Taggart Jr. has appeared in most every game, but he's mostly a running quarterback. He's only thrown it 7 times this season. We'll see what transpires. No score. Time for Do Project Smarter, brought to you by the Home Depot, and it's time for lightning in a bottle. Malachi Corley in Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Malachi Corley, one of the most explosive receivers really in all of college football, and this is what they love to do. They love to give him the ball in space and let him do the rest. You see it right here, breaking a couple tackles, taking it all the way to the house, 85 yards, and here it is again. Just a quick screen pass, boom, he's got the ball in space, makes a guy miss, makes another guy miss, makes 4 guy misses on that play, and then has the breakaway speed to take it all the way to the crib. Malachi Corley going to have a huge impact in this football game if they can get him going.
Reed keeps it and falls forward for a pickup of 5. Haven't seen Corley touch the ball yet. This FAU defense has done a really good job on Western Kentucky. 2 drives. They forced a punt and a turnover.
I kind of felt like Western Kentucky, as we get a flag here.
Boy, sloppy start to this game for both teams.
False start. Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's the wide receiver Michael Matheson, and already the 5th penalty. And we haven't even played 9 minutes.
Well, and you see the effect that it's having really on both offenses, right? They both want to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, get their offense in the rhythm by playing this hurry-up style. But when you have the penalties, when you have the negative plays, you see guys walking around, it slows you down and gets you out of rhythm.
So 2nd down and 10 now for Austin Reed in this prolific Western Kentucky offense. And they blow that up, but it's a reverse. Malachi Corley makes something out of nothing, gets crunched out of bounds by Romaine Mungeon. That was almost disaster for the Hilltoppers, but it ends up a gain of 15 and a 1st down.
Nice play design by offensive coordinator Ben Harbuckle, getting Malachi the ball on a reverse right there, faking the running back inside. But great pursuit by Smoke Mungeon right there, getting to the sideline and making the tackle.
Try that left side with Marquise Stepp, and nothing doing again. Jamie Petway and Jalen Wester in on the stop.
Boy, Coach Taggart had a lot of great things to say about the young freshman, Jalen Wester. Has a lot of potential. He's always positive, and he shows up at every practice, every game, and he's really earned a lot of the playing time that he's getting as a young freshman.
Todd Orlando said last week, we just lost our minds out there, giving up 49 to Middle Tennessee, so they can hardly even look at the tape. That one complete to the tight end, Joshua Simon down the seam. Simon tough to bring down, finally down at the 35-yard line.
A miscommunication in the secondary right here for FAU. They bring extra defenders, but nobody guards the tight end. I think one of the linebackers was responsible for him. Joshua Simon, 2 touchdowns last week versus Auburn, really starting to come on the second half of this season.
Pickup of 33 yards. And Austin Reed now leads the nation in passing yards with that completion. 4:28 to go here in the 1st quarter. Timeout on the field. Big play, Joshua Simon. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. No score, 10.5 minutes into this ball game here between Western Kentucky and FAU. Austin Reed just moved into 1st place by himself in passing yards this season with almost 3,900. He just moved past Washington's Michael Penix Jr. 33-yard completion to Joshua Simon on what looked like busted coverage from that FAU defense. The timeout was called by Western Kentucky. 1st and 10 from the 35, and the handoff to Marquise Stepp. and he has had no luck so far today. 3 carries, -2 yards. Evan Anderson making the play.
Evan Anderson that time getting into the backfield and playing with some aggression today. Coach Taggart really challenged him after the game last week. Felt like he didn't play up to par last week. Certainly wants to see him play better today, and he certainly has so far in this football game.
Reed, deep drop over the middle, and it's right through the hands of Simon, the tight end. There is a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage near side.
Yeah, that's going to be illegal men downfield. Pretty much all of the offensive linemen. That was supposed to be a setup screen play, wasn't there. Great job by FAU. And Austin tried to improvise, but not allowed to throw the ball down the field there.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 53. Penalty's been declined. 3rd down.
All right, so instead of 2nd and 17, it'll be 3rd down and 12. Ben Arbuckle, the co-offensive coordinator, but the quarterback's coach, was the quarterback's coach for Bailey Zappi as well. Really good friends with Bailey Zappi. He said, hey, when Bailey comes back, it's not like a player-coach relationship. We're buds.
Yeah, Bailey loves to come into the meetings, be a part of the guys, be a part of the team, and shares a lot of advice to Austin, participates when needed, and they've got a great relationship.
3rd down and 12. Reed with time down the sideline. It's caught. Is it inbounds?
Got to put it in.
They're talking about it. It's a catch. Jalen Hall. We'll see if he got a foot down or not. 32-yard pickup if it stands. Look at that vertical leap. Ooh, nope, that'll be incomplete. They'll review this. The left foot hits out of bounds before the right foot comes down.
Well, it was a lot closer than I thought, Chris. I mean, look at that right foot. If that one comes down first, that's a completed catch. Initially, I thought Day-Day Hill did a phenomenal job pushing the receiver out of bounds. And, I mean, he obviously did because it's an incomplete pass, but heck of an effort there by Jalen Hall, working his way to try to get a foot down right there.
Yeah, and if not for that contact there by Damon Hill, I think he would have got that foot down, but he was able to hit him just enough to keep that right foot off the turf. It goes to Remus Kozika, our replay official, and I can't imagine this taking long, and I can't imagine it not being overturned. It would wipe out a 32-yard completion on 3rd and long.
Well, we mentioned it, Chris, before the football game. FAU defense only giving up 18.6 points per game at home. They're giving up more than 32 points a game on the road, and we're already seeing the difference.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed to an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down.
Good job to get together and review it and make the correct call.
Yeah, you'll see here, boom, he makes the catch right there. Hill pushes him in the back, and for a second it looks like that right foot is going to slide into the grass, but his left foot comes down first out of bounds, and huge play because it forces a 4th down.
Yeah, and a punt. They're outside of field goal range. Braden Narveson is their field goal kicker. His long is 47, and this one would be too long, so they're going to punt it from the 37-yard line. It would have been a 54 or 55-yard field goal attempt. A hesitation. Might as well take your time, right? And what a punt and coverage.
That should be a touchback. That should be a touchback. You see him backpedal into the end zone right there with the football.
Dalvin Smith was able to get down there and act like a punt returner because his punter.
That's really interesting. Look at this. He catches the ball before the end zone, right? But you have to stay there until the whistle is blown, and you see him backpedal. I'm surprised they're not taking a look at this, Chris.
Whistle must have been blown before he stepped back. Marked inside the 1-yard line on a beautiful 36-yard punt by Braden Narveson. Does not get any better than that from an execution standpoint.
N'Kosi Perry back at quarterback. I see them doing a sneak here.
Called it. Got the push. Let's take another look here.
Boom, 2 steps, and then he blows. That's late there. That's a missed call. Right. That's a missed call right there. West Kentucky getting away with one. Let's see if FAU can dig their way out of this hole right here.
A lot of action there in that area inside the 5-yard line the last couple of plays. On second down, they try the right side, and Western's defense bows up, so it will be 3rd down and 5.
Nice carry right there, just trying to find some space. Get away from that goal line. That's Zabari Mobley, redshirt freshman out of Miami. Here it is, a 3rd and manageable right here.
2:30 to go in this scoreless first quarter. Western showing pressure off the edge from the safety Kendrick Simpkins. Now both teams changing things up. 3 on the play clock. And now a timeout called by Willie Taggart and the Owls with 2:14 to go here in the first quarter. Hey, tomorrow at 4 Eastern here on CBS Sports Network, it's the toughest 8 seconds in sports. Don't miss PBR Unleash the Beast live from Tucson, Arizona. Here today, a bunch at stake for both of these teams. For Western Kentucky, a win would put pressure on North Texas, kicking off with Rice later on today. If Western wins this and Rice beats North Texas, they will go to the Conference USA Championship game at UTSA and play them later on this week, next week I should say, on CBS Sports Network. And for FAU, they need a win to get to a bowl game. They are sitting at 5-6. Willie Taggart says that would be so huge for this program with such a young team to get to a bowl game, get those extra practices, get some momentum as they head off to the American next season.
Well, he certainly feels good about the future of this program, and getting this team to a bowl game would be a huge accomplishment going forward.
They're going to give him the spot there. 1st down to Jordan Young. He went right to the sticks, and that was Perry's best pass of the day.
Still didn't come out of his hand sharp, but great job by Jamal Edrin right there. Excuse me, Jordan Young right there, getting to the sticks, converting for a 1st down.
There's McCammon to the 15-yard line. Offense really hard to come by for both of these teams so far today. FAU, as you've mentioned, Turbo, a different team at home. They're 4-1 at home this season.
Yeah, we talked about this defense holding teams to only 18 points a game. But how about Larry McCammon? When he's at home, he rushes for almost 100 yards a game, 95, and on the road, only 66. And so it seems like this entire team as a whole really elevates their game when they're playing at home.
And the one home loss was to UCF, a team that's likely going to be playing for not only an American Conference Championship, but a potential berth in the Cotton Bowl. Perry, flag in the backfield as Perry picks up the 1st down, but this one might be coming back. They're definitely choosing to use his legs more.
10-yard penalty, main 3rd down.
But that is another bad mistake by the offensive line. Already the 4th penalty in this first quarter.
See it right there, 75. Just grabbing the jersey as N'Kosi Perry's trying to get outside. And I mean, here it is again, right? The team, boom, positive plays, and then they find a way to beat themselves and put themselves in a tough 3rd and long situation.
It's already the 3rd different offensive lineman that's been penalized in this first quarter. So 3rd and 11. Perry under pressure, completes it to the running back, but a good open field tackle by Derek Smith, and McCammon is 6 yards shy. They'll have to punt it away.
Derek Smith, hell of a tackle right there. If you are Larry McCammon, you got to make that guy miss in space right there. Talked to Coach Tyson Summers about Derek Smith before this football game. He said he's the most improved player on the team. He's got 81 tackles on the season. Man, oh man, that was a great example of one right there in the open field to force fourth down.
And this punt will be the final play of this first quarter. Taken in at the 37-yard line, Jalen Hall. Helmet comes off up to the 45, so it'll be good starting field position for the Hilltoppers to start the second quarter. All defense so far between FAU and Western Kentucky. A lot on the line today in Boca. We bring you college football presented by the Home Depot. Conference USA Championship game next week on CBS Sports Network. We know UTSA is going to host it, regardless of their game later on today, hosting UTEP. Who are they going to play? It'll be either North Texas or Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers put pressure on the Mean Green with a victory today. If they lose today, if Western loses to FAU, North Texas is in no matter what. Tyson Helton's team needs a win, and then a North Texas loss to Rice. First play of the second quarter. Only a few yards for Dalvin Smith. A first quarter that had 6 possessions, 5 punts, and a fumble for both of these teams. They combined for 6 penalties and 60 yards as well. Ugly would be an understatement, but we still have 3 quarters to go.
Still have 3 quarters to go. Both teams on defense playing well. For the most part, though, especially for FAU, beating themselves with the penalties, if they can clean that up, they might be able to put a drive together and get into the end zone.
Left side, Davion Irvin Poindexter crosses midfield to the 49 of FAU. They've been here before. This is the 3rd time now that Western Kentucky's been in FAU territory, but opening drive fumble, and then they had to punt from the 37-yard line on an overturned pass play that was originally called complete down to the 5-yard line. Faced with another 3rd down here. Western is 1 for 3 on 3rd downs today.
FAU doing a good job mixing up their defensive coverages, bringing some pressure.
Good protection again. Reed complete to the 45 and a first down. Malachi Corley.
Boy, I tell you what, if Austin Reed didn't have to drift to his left, he had his tight end on that rub route coming across the formation. Wide open. Could have got a lot of yards after catch, but a first down nonetheless.
Well, going to get a lot of yards here. And 6. A touchdown, Malachi Corley, 45 yards.
Well, they've been trying to get him loose all game long. FAU defense have been doing a great job playing the short game, the screens, the quick swing routes. That time they disguised it a little bit, and Malachi Corley able to get behind the defense wide open for a touchdown.
One of the keys for this FAU team was to limit the explosive plays for touchdowns. Didn't do it here. 45 yards from Austin Reed to Malachi Corley. 8th receiving touchdown of the season. And the Hilltoppers score first. Austin Reed just threw his 34th touchdown pass of the season. 45 yards to Malachi Corley. Todd Orlando, the defensive coordinator for FAU, said last week there were several times where we just weren't lined up. We weren't set. We didn't get the play call in time. There was miscommunication. That's exactly what happened on that touchdown pass. And Turbo is going to show that to you in just a second as Western Kentucky kicks it away. Finally some scoring after a scoreless first quarter. Western is on the board. 7-0 lead here.
Okay.
13:09 to go in the first half. And this one is going to be into the end zone, come out to the 25. Show us what happened there, Turbo.
Yeah, Chris, let's take a look at it. Coach Taggart talked about the communication defensively. You see these guys right here not paying attention. Boom, he's looking inside at the snap of the ball there. Boom, pause it. You see they're not even ready. Then Malachi makes a quick move inside. Go ahead and play it. And bounce it back out. And is able to beat the defender deep. This defense, one of the keys to the game for them was to be able to get lined up against an offense that wants to hurry up to the line of scrimmage. That time, Western Kentucky took advantage of that mental lapse.
Now looking to get something going on offense. They have not shown an ability to move the football at all. This is their 4th drive, and they only have 53 yards so far. This FAU offense hindered by the hand injury to N'Kosi Perry. Now a little flip to LeJontay Wester. Nifty move. Wester picks up the first down. Seems like every time they've done something like that, it's been taken back by a penalty. Not this time.
Absolutely, and I like the fact that they're kind of sticking to this run game, this little mini run game right there with the fly sweep. Getting the ball in your playmakers' hands and allow them to do the rest.
Another sweep. Good yardage on first down. Pickup of 5 once more for Wester, who had a fumble that he recovered himself in the first quarter, but it was a loss of 10, and that stopped their best drive of the game. To the ground once more. And only a couple for Zuberi Mobley. It is Native American Heritage Month, and CBS Sports embraces authentic stories. Share yours at #MyNativeStory. 3rd down and 3. Willie Taggart and the offense. Send Mobley out of the backfield. Perry complete near midfield. First down. Good catch. Tony Johnson hit immediately by A.J. Brathwaite, but able to hang on.
Tony Johnson, redshirt freshman out of Ocala, Florida right there. They're going to have to make these type of catches throughout this football game to be able to convert on drives right there. A bang, bang play. First down.
And now right back to him. And Johnson able to get inside the 45-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 43, pickup of 7.
And you see now FAU starting to find their groove, starting to find some openings within this Western Kentucky defense, getting the ball out of N'Kosi Perry's hands quick.
Couple of stacks here. Perry, play fake, dumps it down. Mobley gets the corner inside the 30.
And we talked about N'Kosi Perry, right? No interceptions in the last 5 games, and here's a great example why he wants to drive the football down the field here. Nobody open in time, and boom, just hits his check down right there, the running back. And it's about making smart decisions at the quarterback position, and N'Kosi Perry is one of the best at it.
16-yard pickup. They're at the 27. Perry again to Johnson. They found something with Tony Johnson on this drive. His 3rd catch.
Just a quick fake to the running back. Boom, get it out to your receiver. Tony Johnson's able to break a tackle, get a couple extra yards right there. Putting together a nice drive so far.
And now Perry on the run inside the 20-yard line, close to the first down, might be a yard shy. And again, he's shaking that throwing hand. He's been in pain all game long. They told us this week, the coaching staff, that he had been feeling better in practice and he had been able to put a little bit more zip on the ball, but he's really battling through it here in the first half.
And the issue with running the football as well as throwing it is, you know, although you're going to carry the ball in your off arm, you're often using, your left arm as they convert for a first down here. You're often using your off arm to shield defenders away. You put it on the ground to help you stay upright for extra yardage. And I'm telling you, every time he's hitting the ground, it's affecting that thumb.
Heard it a couple of weeks ago in the blowout win against FIU. It hurt him last week at Middle Tennessee, where he wore that same wrap on the throwing hand in a 49-21 loss. After the first down pickup, Perry caught at the goal line, touchdown! Jamal Edrin, 13 yards, and they have responded.
What a beautiful response by this FAU offense, driving down the field, controlling the football, and N'Kosi Perry putting the ball on a dime right there. Didn't seem to be affected by the thumb on that play. A heck of a catch by Jamal Edrin. 5th touchdown of the season. Just a one-on-one route to the inside, able to convert for a touchdown.
Really impressive 11-play, 75-yard drive for Brett Dearman's offense.
Jamal Edrin making plays for his quarterback. Tied up at 7-7.
The NFL on CBS, and Bailey Zappi has helped the New England Patriots this season, a few starts, and he returned to Western Kentucky a couple of weeks ago during his bye week. That's D'Angelo Malone, who now plays for the Atlanta Falcons, former great defensive player for Western Kentucky. Western and Austin Reed got the scoring started, and then N'Kosi Perry responded. He was 6 for 6 on that last drive, 57 yards. And we are off and running now. Forget about that first quarter. Let's get more of this, Turbo.
Western Kentucky here defensively, they're going to bring 6 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. FAU does a great job defending it, freeze it here. They let a defender go, but watch the composure there from N'Kosi Perry, still been able to deliver the football on time to his target where only he could catch it, and a tough catch right there, but able to haul it in for a touchdown. Great answer by N'Kosi Perry and this Florida Atlantic offense.
Love the placement there for your 6'3" receiver to go up and get it against a 5'11" cornerback in Trey Shaw. Perry with a touchdown pass in all 12 games this season. That's tough running there from Marquise Stepp, who's had a heck of a time so far today. 3 carries, -2 yards before that run of 4, and man, he earned it.
He earned that one. Tough running all day long so far, but you know, this FAU defense has held up pretty well against the run. That was his best run all day.
They've only given up 31 rushing yards on 10 carries. Western got him through the air last drive. A 45-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Corley. Reed looking down the middle and completes it. Jalen Hall to the 45.
Nice job by Jalen Hall coming across the formation. They do this rollout again. His first read was to Malachi Corley on the out route. Went down to his second read. Jalen Hall coming across the middle. Great pitch and catch right there. Good coverage, but better offense that time by Western Kentucky.
Reed 8 for 13, 126 yards and a touchdown. To throw again. Down the middle again. And his receiver wide open. Corley.
That time Florida Atlantic playing a zone, and they want to mix up their coverages today. Talking to defensive coordinator Tara Orlando, some man, some zone.
And not going deep. Sideline. Oh, a little bit too far for Michael Matheson. But he was behind his defender, Romaine Mungin.
That time, Matheson got past Smoke Mungan on that play, and one of the rare overthrows you'll see from Austin Reed, just couldn't connect on that one.
So they went for it all after back-to-back plays of 15+. They have this FAU defense on their heels now. 2nd and 10, trickery, reverse. Nice move by Matheson just to get some yards there. FAU was not fooled. They had him hemmed in, but he went right up the middle and picks up 5.
Yeah, this was a nice read by Latrell Dean, not letting Michael Matheson get outside, but Matheson able to make something out of nothing there.
Stoppage in the action for an injured FAU Owl. That's Jamie Petway. Great freshman linebacker. Freshman, sophomore, in the COVID era, doesn't really matter. You can play as long as you want for the most part.
Seriously, that's fact.
I mean, you got some guys out here on senior day who are playing their 6th year.
And coming back for a 7th.
I mean, a guy like Nkosi Perry, a 4-star out of high school, started in 2017 for Miami. He was there several years. Look at the bottom of the screen, and a big hit by Vincent Murphy, the right guard for Western Kentucky. Good to see Petway.
Yeah.
Looks to be okay.
Yeah, basically just ran into a wall right there. Vincent Murphy, 6'2", 305 pounds. Out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's a big man to run into right there.
Much better second quarter offensively for both of these teams. After a scoreless first.
Well, they're starting to find their rhythms offensively, and for Western Kentucky, they're really starting to find holes within this Florida Atlantic defense. I really feel that they need to continue to bring extra defenders on the blitz.
They're going to run it on 3rd down, and not even close. So it'll be 4th down and 3 from the 34. What do you do?
Right on cue there, they bring the safety on the blitz, and he's able to run Austin Reed down for a short gain to stop him. That was Dwight Toombs on the stop. He's actually the guy who replaced TJ at the safety position, and TJ then goes to nickel. But if you're Western Kentucky, you go for it here on 4th down. You're in FAU territory. You've been moving the ball. Nice decision right here by Coach Helton.
But the play clock down to 0, and a timeout was called before it ran out. They took a little bit too long to decide what kind of offensive attack they wanted. Late substitution, and now they have more time to think about this 4th down. Tyson Helton, Austin Reed faced with a similar situation in the first quarter, decided to punt it on the opponent's 37-yard line. They're at the 34-yard line now on 4th and 3, and they're going to go for it.
They're going to go for it, and it's a good decision. And, you know, these are the type of situational moments that can oftentimes make or break a game for you. Not all the time, but oftentimes. I look for them to go to Malachi right here. I mean, he's their #1 playmaker offensively. If Austin Reed doesn't run it, I expect him to figure out a way to get the ball in Malachi Corley's hands.
And Corley goes into the backfield. Reed batted down at the line by Lantrell Jean, and it's a turnover on downs.
Lantrell Jean that time gets into the backfield, not able to get to the quarterback, so he gets his hands up. The same player earlier in the game who stopped the reverse, able to get off a block that time and make a huge play on 4th down.
There is another injured FAU Owl. They're going to get it back to their offense at the 34-yard line. Don't have a number on the injured player, but Todd Orlando, outside of the one breakdown in coverage that allowed that 45-yard touchdown, the defense has done a really nice job. That's Jalen Wester, the brother of LeJante Wester. And Jalen sick last week. This is a guy that just does not leave the field. He can do everything from that linebacker position.
Yeah, Coach Willie Taggart had a lot of great things to say about him, and good to see him get up and be able to jog off the field there, and hopefully he's all right enough to be able to come back into the game at some point. They're going to need him.
Giving some congrats to Lantrell Jean, who made that great play at the line of scrimmage, get his hands up and get that deflection and the turnover on downs. Get it back to an offense that was humming last drive. Kosi Perry was 6 for 6 on that last drive. It resulted in a touchdown.
If you're FAU, stay in attack mode, do what you did last drive, run the football.
Perry keeps it and falls down. There is a flag on the play.
Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So that's now 4 different offensive linemen who have been penalized for FAU. This time it's Kamar Bell.
Yeah, and a lot of these penalties are coming when the FAU ball handlers are wanting to get outside. The offensive line has to do a better job running their feet, not reaching, therefore able to stay in front of their defenders and make good blocks.
They only average 57 penalty yards a game, and they're already at 50 here with 5.5 to go in the first half. Perry squeezes that one in there to Javion Posey. They pick up 12 yards.
Nice job by Posey finding some room there in that zone, and Kosi Perry there again showing the ability to throw the ball with that thumb.
Now that quarterback draw did not fool anybody. Will Ignat was there to make the play, and only a couple for Perry. It'll set up a 3rd and 6, which isn't that bad when you consider it was 1st and 20.
No, it's manageable, certainly. And I'll say this too, you know, coaches are going to play the players that they trust, and you know, we've been talking about N'Kosi Perry's thumb throughout this football game, and I'll tell you what, he wouldn't be out there if Coach Taggart didn't trust him to be able to get the job done.
5 wide on 3rd and 6. 4-man pressure. Perry gets away. He'll tuck it, trying to get out to the sideline, and forced out of bounds. Nowhere near the first down marker. So Western Kentucky comes up with the stop, and they will punt it away.
You see the defender coming around the edge, a clear sack. N'Kosi Perry doing what he does best, making guys miss, trying to make a play to convert for a first down, but nice pursuit by this Western Kentucky defense, getting them out of bounds and forcing the 4th down.
Riley Thompson to punt to Jalen Hall. Low end over end. It's going to bounce at the 28-yard line and roll inside the 20. And down to the 15-yard line. 3:47 to go in this first half. Tie game at 7. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. Tied at 7 between Tyson Helton's Western Kentucky Hilltoppers and FAU. The Toppers are 7-0 when they turn teams over multiple times. 0-5 when they don't, and they have yet to force an FAU turnover today.
And to combat that, I mean, combined with that, you know, you're talking about an FAU team who plays better at home. And they have the least amount of turnovers in all of the conference, only 13. That's number 1. So it's going to be tough sledding for Western Kentucky. They may have to find a different way to win this football game.
Hilltopper football. Austin Reed going deep for Corley. Off his hands in midfield. He had that 45-yard touchdown catch earlier on this quarter. Almost converted there.
And this is really nice coverage by Dwight Toombs, the second. I mentioned earlier replacing TJ Young at that safety position. Now TJ playing the nickel spot. But, you know, talk to defensive coordinator Todd Orlando about Dwight Toombs, and says he has great vision and ball skills and has really earned the right to start at the safety spot.
Now they found the running back, Irvin Poindexter. He's across the 40. Boy, lots of traffic. There was a free runner up the middle. Poindexter made the tough catch and then used the speed.
Well, this is really just great blocking in front by Western Kentucky. Really springing Poindexter out there for a huge gain.
It was a 29-yard pickup, and now they're near midfield on the catch by Jalen Hall. Mark it at the 49 of Western Kentucky, pickup of 5.
It's going to be important now for Florida Atlantic. Listen, big plays are going to happen throughout this football game. How do you respond? That's the most important thing right now.
3 minutes to go in this first half. Western's been able to move the ball better than FAU, already 212 total yards. Little sweep to Corley, hemmed in and thrown down for a loss. Courtney McBride.
This is excellent defensive play right here. Look at this pursuit. Courtney McBride, understanding he has outside contain, and then you've got Jaleel McCray staying on the inside leverage there, understanding McBride has outside contain, not overrunning the play. A nice 1-2 team tackle right there by FAU, forcing a third down.
Third and long now, 3rd and 8. Quarterback run, and he is ripped down by Evan Anderson after a gain of just a couple, and they'll likely have to punt it away with 1:57 to go. I believe FAU may have called a timeout to try to conserve some time here for one last drive. They'll get the ball first as well to start the second half, will the Owls. And they're going to put 4 more seconds on the clock as well. So 1 timeout remaining for FAU. Probably won't have great field position, but they are going to get it back. Hey, coming up at the half, we're going to send you to the studio for the Ram Trucks halftime report. Rick Neuheisel, Brian Jones, joined by Adam Zucker. And so much going on today in college football. Of course, we've got the Iron Bowl coming up on CBS at 3:30 Eastern time. After us here on CBS Sports Network, UAB will try to become bowl eligible. They're looking for their 6th win at Louisiana Tech. Carter Blackburn, Tom Herman standing by in Ruston. Fair catch at the 15, maybe the 16-yard line for LeJontay Wester. And here's once again what's at stake today for FAU. They need a win to get to a bowl game for Willie Taggart. For Western Kentucky, they need a win to keep conference title hopes alive. If they win and Rice beats North Texas later on today, Tyson Helton's team will be going to San Antonio to take on the Roadrunners in the Conference USA Championship game. Whoever it is, Western or North Texas, it should be a really good game because both of those matchups were fantastic. UTSA beat North Texas in the final seconds and hung on to beat Western Kentucky in a tight one as well.
And Western Kentucky, they really want that game back if they have the opportunity.
Run on first down. Just 1 timeout for FAU here with the clock moving.
I don't mind this approach by FAU. Run the football. as we have an injury on the field.
Injured Hilltopper defensive lineman Darius Shipp, senior from Olive Branch, Mississippi. So the clock stops with 1:38 to go. So I guess if you're Willie Taggart, Brent Dearman, you say, oh, if we bust one on the ground, then we'll start going fast. But worst case scenario, you're thinking maybe pick up a first down and at least take this clock down to halftime so you can go into the break at worst in a tie ball game.
I think you're dipping your toe in the water, kind of seeing what Western Kentucky wants to do defensively here in this situation. I still feel like FAU has enough time to be able to challenge this defense down the field in the passing game in this 2-minute situation to be able to at least get in field goal range and go into halftime up 3 points.
Kosi Berry has found 9 different receivers today.
Well, he's been really intelligent with the football, spreading it around, not eyeing down any one guy. Excellent decision maker.
McCammon in the backfield, trips far side. They give it to McCammon. Came to a complete stop at the line of scrimmage. Bulls forward to the 25. He'll be a yard shy of the first down, so the clock keeps moving.
Another good decision here. You see Western Kentucky with 5 guys in the box. Usually advantage offense if they want to run the football.
And they're going to run it again. It's first down and more. McCammon twirled down to the 37. And now you probably start going tempo.
Yeah, I would use your timeout here. Good job, Willie Taggart.
And there's another Western Kentucky player down. That's Kendrick Simpkins, who was hurt the first 3 weeks of this season. Has really been the leader of that secondary. And it is really hot today. I mean, it feels like it's September out there with temperatures in the mid-80s here in Boca and a heat index in the 90s.
Well, it can be tough if you're coming from cold climates and you're used to that weather, and then all of a sudden here you're going to places like Florida where it's not only hot but it's humid. Yeah, I remember my days in Seattle. For whatever reason, man, as dominant as our teams were, we would go up and play Miami, play the Dolphins, and find a way to lose those games. And I mean, we had shades on the sidelines, fans. I mean, we were doing everything possible to try to keep cool. Didn't work well enough for us to figure out a way to win, but it certainly can be effective. I mean, we're coming from a Seattle climate. It's a lot different. So it can affect your play out there on the field.
And it's been much cooler in Bowling Green, Kentucky this week. They were looking forward to getting down here and getting the good weather, but I don't know if they expected it to be this hot and humid.
Now, earlier I thought Willie Taggart used his timeout. He didn't. Clock stops on the first down, so smart decision from him to keep that timeout in his back pocket, get his offense lined up, getting ready to go.
We saw that Western Kentucky player was injured, so they would need to stop the clock for injury. So 58 seconds left. First and 10, 37-yard line. Perry to the outside. And that's Jaquan Burton, who's out of bounds after a pickup of 5.
Nice play call right there. Boom, getting the ball out quick to your playmaker's hands near the sideline. If he can make a play, make a play. If not, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Now they'll keep it on the ground. And good broken tackle there from Johnny Ford to get out of bounds.
Nice hard run by Johnny Ford, lowering his shoulder, not allowing the defender to get him down that time. Keeping his feet and getting out of bounds, stopping the clock, and now you're in a manageable third down situation here.
This is quite the chess match between FAU's offense and Western Kentucky's defense. Substitutions after every play.
You still have a timeout here for FAU, so you can utilize the middle of the field if needed.
Pressure from the outside. Pass complete. Shake a tackler. Johnson taken down a yard shy of the first down. And FAU is letting it run now. It's Brent Dearman, the offensive coordinator. Now a timeout is called with 29 seconds left. So we're going to take a quick 30-second break and see what FAU decides to do on a 4th down and 1. 4th and 1 for FAU from their own 47-yard line, and looks like they're going to punt it away. You had no timeouts, and if you don't get it, you give it back to this potent Western Kentucky offense, and you're going to get the ball in the second half anyway. So I think it's the right decision. Turbo, what do you think?
It is the right decision now. I would have liked to see FAU be a little bit more aggressive on that drive, trying to get the ball down the field. You still had a timeout. They didn't attack the middle of the field at all. They're settling to be able to go into halftime tied up.
I think they got the word there. Don't touch it. Let it go out of bounds. 15-yard line. 17 seconds to go. Good punt by Riley Thompson.
Yeah, well, you don't want to touch the ball there because if the ball stays in bounds, you may buy yourself a couple more seconds off the clock before the referee blows it dead, but the ball ended up rolling out of bounds anyway. Go ahead, Chris.
Just one timeout for Western Kentucky. So you would imagine that they would just, well, it's Western Kentucky's offense,
it is
so
Western
why not?
Kentucky. I mean, I would take a knee personally. I would, go out there and take a knee. But maybe you try for one chunk play. See what you can get.
See if you can bust a run here. A few yards, and that'll take us to the halftime break. So, no scoring in the first quarter. Both teams scored on their first drives of the second quarter, and the defense stiffened up on both sides once again. In this game with so much on the line, we are tied at 7 as FAU looks to get to a bowl game and Western Kentucky looks to potentially get to the conference championship game. After these commercial messages, stay tuned for the Ram Trucks halftime report. 7-7 at the break. Tyson Helton's Hilltoppers and Willie Taggart's Owls tied at 7. At the start of the third quarter, FAU is going to get the football. And they're looking to become bowl eligible here. Western Kentucky hoping to get to the Conference USA Championship game. They also need a Rice win over North Texas in a game that's going to kick off in just a few minutes. N'Kosi Perry has thrown 11 consecutive completions and starting to look a little bit better. Maybe got that hand warmed up a little bit more in that second quarter. That first quarter, he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, well, you get into the football game, that adrenaline starts to kick in, and once that kicks in, you feel a little less pain, and you certainly want to endure through whatever's hurting you in the big game like this.
Throws a screen and short hops it to the intended receiver, Jaquan Burton. That hand wrapped up as he did last week against Middle Tennessee. It's interesting, the coaching staff said that the injury has actually made him more accurate, and we've seen that today. That's just his third incompletion. He's 13 for 16.
Well, he's had to be more precise with the injury, right? He can't depend on his arm strength as much because he's unable to grip the football as tight, therefore needing to be more accurate.
Larry McCammon on the ground. Wrapped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage, and it's going to bring up a third down and long here to start this second half. Neither team has been able to get anything going on the ground today. Just 67 yards for Brent Dearman's offense on 21 carries, and 46 yards on 14 carries for Western Kentucky. The defense has ruled the day so far in the heat.
You see FAU here not as quick to the line of scrimmage as we saw in the first half, particularly that second quarter. They must get this hurry-up offense going and get that rhythm.
Oh, that was a quick strike, but behind Jamal Edrin. Maybe a hot route there with the pressure coming, and not sure if Perry's upset with himself or with the wide receiver.
It looked like because of the blitz there came from Perry's right side, he was expecting Jamal Edrin to turn around quicker. And the result was the ball being behind him there because he ran a deeper route.
So 3 and out. And this punt taking it at the 29-yard line by Jalen Hall, and only gets to the 30. Now this will be the last college game more than likely for N'Kosi Perry if they don't win today. FAU needs to win this to get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible. Western Kentucky is already bowl eligible, but they want to be able to play for a conference championship, and they will get there with a win today and a North Texas loss to Rice.
Spoke to Malachi Corley before the football game, and he said that it would be a dream to have another opportunity to play UTSA after a close loss earlier this season. He wants another shot at him.
Lost by 3 points in the Alamo Dome. That one incomplete, intended for Michael Matheson. That ball popped in the air, and they had a chance to pick that.
Well, Austin Reed tried to zip that one in there, but tight coverage that time by Florida Atlantic. Defensive coordinator Tyler Orlando talked about one of the adjustments he wanted to make going into this football game against Western Kentucky was to play tighter coverage to avoid those guys getting those quick passes and having space in it to make plays.
Reed throwing the screen, and it's blown up immediately. Corley hauled it in and then got smoked by Jalen Joyner and company.
Yeah, and there's a perfect example right there. You see all the corners right there lined up no more than 5 yards off the football. They try to fake it to the running back. Boom. Could have been an interception right there by Armani Eli Adams, who read that play like a book. Malachi Corley makes the adjustment, comes inside, but no space for him to run.
3rd down and 10.
Look at how tight the DBs are playing to the receivers.
Quick slant, 1st down and running room for Matheson into Owl territory.
And this is a heck of an adjustment here by offensive coordinator. Now we got a nice chess match going on between Ben Harbuckle, the offensive coordinator. You see the rub route. Malachi Corley gets just enough of Smoke Mungan right there, freeing up his receiver, Michael Matheson, for the slant for the catch.
And now another wide open receiver. It's Corley. Touchdown! 54-yard touchdown.
Wow. Once again, Austin Reed able to find his #1 target deep, this time down the right sideline for a huge play in the secondary for a touchdown.
2 big plays back to back. A 3rd and 10 to Michael Matheson for 24 yards. And the extra point makes it 14-7. So Western Kentucky, a couple 45-plus yard touchdown passes.
Well, Malachi Corley mentioned how bad he wanted this football game, an opportunity to play UTSA for a championship. And these guys are balling out of control right now.
Taking a look at the college football playoff poll powered by Ram Trucks. Georgia's only up 10-7 against Georgia Tech. That game into the 3rd. And the Ohio State Buckeyes have jumped on top of Michigan 20-17. That one's at the half.
Gotta love rivalry week, college football. Some of the best games you'll ever watch happen during rivalry week.
Of course, you got the Iron Bowl coming up at 3:30 Eastern over on CBS.
Your favorite.
Let's go back to that 46-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Corley that gave the Hilltoppers the 14-7 lead.
Let's take a look at it. It's going to be a simple out and up, right? Boom, he's going to press up, break out. And you see it here. Boom, playing. He presses up, right? Gets a little contact, fights through it, breaks out, pause. TJ gets caught looking in the backfield. And now he's caused that separation there as he breaks up the field. And I mean, that's just a great route, a good pitch and catch there. He's wide open in the secondary. Lays the boom at the end. Let him know I'm here for a touchdown.
6 catches, 105 yards, and a couple of 45-plus-yard touchdown receptions so far today. Came in leading the conference in receptions and yards and continues to add to it.
Well, earlier in the game, right, we saw Austin Reed hit a big play to Malachi Corley down the left sideline for a touchdown. FAU came right back, drove the ball down the field for an 11-play touchdown drive. Let's see if they can keep their composure and get an opportunity to do the same thing here.
Working Johnny Ford into the game a bit more the last couple series dating back to the first half. That's injured Hilltopper Caleb Oliver, who leads this team with 3 interceptions this season. Ahead of a 3rd down and 6. FAU went 3 and out to start this 3rd quarter. In danger of doing it back-to-back drives. Big play here for Brent Dearman and Kosi Perry in this offense.
Certainly need to convert, keep this drive moving. You know, one of the keys to the game that I had was ball control for FAU, and really that means winning the time of possession, keeping the ball away. We see how explosive this Western Kentucky offense can be. Converting on 3rd down is a huge part of keeping the ball out of their hands.
Bunch of movement from that Western Kentucky defense to try to keep Kosi Perry guessing. Swings it out. Larry McCammon, the running back, able to pick up the 1st down. Spins across the 40.
Nice job by Larry McCammon there, getting the ball on the swing route. They had a 3-for-3 on the outside. 3 wide receivers for 3 DBs.
And Western Kentucky has to burn a timeout because they were not even close to being ready for that ball to be snapped. So 11-12 to go here in the 3rd. FAU looking for another equalizing drive.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. By Sensodyne, #1 dentist recommended brand for sensitive teeth. And by National Car Rental. Go national. Go like a pro.
Bailey Zappi and Western Kentucky winning right here on this field in the Boca Bowl last season against App State. 6 passing touchdowns in that game for Zappi. And Kosi Perry drops it down to Ford. And it's incomplete. Ford was unable to hang on there, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Our 2 billboards, man. We showed 12 Bailey Zappi touchdowns on that.
It's amazing the numbers he put up last season for Western Kentucky.
Excellent career in college, and certainly has the potential to have an excellent one at the NFL level as well.
On 2nd and 10, Perry over the middle. Nicely done. Scanning the field and coming back to #1, LaJohntay Wester, their leading receiver.
That was his best throw of the day. Looked to his right initially, wanted to hit Jamal Edrin on an in route there, came back to his left, Found his target in the zone for a first down.
On 3rd and 1, Larry McCammon busts it loose. It's a foot race, and McCammon is going to win it. Touchdown!
Nice blocking up front by this offensive line. Opening up a hole for Larry McCammon. And listen, this FAU team felt like they could be able to run the football on this Western Kentucky defense. And best run of the day so far, back-to-back boom. Best pass of the day, best run of the day that time. And that one went for 6, and it was a huge play. And again, Chris, a nice answer for Florida Atlantic after an explosive touchdown from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, both times they've responded with 75-yard drives. And what did FAU tell us? They said, hey, we're going to run the ball. We think Western Kentucky can be run on. As long as they don't jump out to a big lead, we're going to be able to run on them. And now they're up to 118 yards on the ground. 48-yard run for Larry McCammon, outrunning the safety Talik Allen. And we're tied up here in the 3rd.
Putting on the turbo speed.
This is college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. Larry McCammon, 48-yard rushing touchdown to tie the score at 14 here in the 3rd. Also has a couple receptions for 18 yards. Big ball game so far for the junior from Hoover, Alabama.
Well, he's having an excellent season so far this year. Came into the game with 5 touchdowns, 877 yards on the ground. Averaging 4.9 yards a carry. Efficient in the run game and having another good one today.
Robert's going to show us how McCammon broke this one loose.
Well, this is just your classic inside zone play is what it's called. You're going to get a double here by the offensive line. Boom, up to this backer. A double here, boom, up to this backer. Then a single block there, and it's just blocked to perfection. Larry McCammon is able to identify the hole, find the crease right there, and then he put on those turbo jets to spring himself into the end zone for a huge touchdown and a big-time answer by Florida Atlantic.
Longest rush Western Kentucky's allowed all season. As Reed completes it to Matheson.
Nice pitch and catch that time between Reed and Matheson. Just their simple comeback route there. FAU playing a lot more man, especially in this half, than they have really all season long, and really wanting to challenge these DBs and these receivers.
Corley pulled down for only a 1-yard gain, but it was enough for the first down. Move the chains, 1st and 10. Western Kentucky had all the explosive plays of 20-plus in this game until that 48-yard touchdown run by McCammon.
Well, coming into the game, Coach Willie Taggart talked about the explosive plays. You know, he mentions that it's on the coaches to get the call into their defense on time, and then it's on the players to get lined up. That was going to be key in stopping these guys from the explosive plays. We already saw one where there was a little bit of a miscommunication there between the defenders, and that went for a touchdown. But this defense has to limit that this second half to give their team an opportunity to win.
Reed, wide open man again. Dalvin Smith lost the ball. Oh, they couldn't save it in bounds. It was there for the taking, but Armani Adams couldn't pick it up before it rolled out of bounds. It was clearly a fumble. Adams had a chance and it went out of bounds.
Tough recovery there by Adams. You're taught when you're recovering a fumble to slide to the side of the football and bring it into your body. The coaching point there is not to try to use your hands to scoop it, especially when you're at the sideline. You want to try to get the ball into your body. That time, unable to recover it.
Goes down as a 30-yard gain. to the 35-yard line.
But again, we just got done talking about it, the explosive plays. On that last play, they faked the screen pass, released the receiver up down the sideline.
Going for Smith. Oh, almost a magnificent grab. A double coverage there. T.J. Young.
Well, T.J. Young does a good job getting into the receiver's body there. Potentially could have been a penalty, but without the pursuit of Amani Eli Adams coming across there, that might have been a completion for a touchdown. Great effort by the safety to come over and help out his defender.
Yeah, great call. Armani Adams jarred that thing loose. Reed high over the head of the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd and 10.
That time man coverage again. Smoke Mungan one-on-one with the receiver there. Tight coverage. That time able to make a play. Now the last time we were in this 3rd and long situation, FAU played man defense. They were able to run a rub route to spring his receiver open. Doesn't look like FAU is going to go man here. Let's see if they decide to bring some pressure in this zone.
They are bringing some. They'll run into it, and only a couple.
Wow.
So now this would be a 50-yard field goal attempt if they try it. Narbison's long is 47 this year.
I would kick the field goal, but I'm really surprised at that offensive call right there. The decision to run the football on a 3rd and 10. You've been explosive in the passing game all game long, essentially. Now a huge kick right now.
51-yarder, a career long of 53 a couple of years ago, and he splits the uprights. Braden Narbison gives the Hilltoppers a 3-point lead with 8:08 to go here in the 3rd. This one was as good as it gets. Tomorrow morning at 8 Eastern, get up with your favorite gridiron crew. Leading up to Week 12 action in the NFL. It's That Other Pregame Show right here on CBS Sports Network. Western Kentucky just took a 3-point lead, 17-14, on a 51-yard field goal by Braden Narbison, his longest in 2 years. Now Corey Munson, the kickoff specialist. Tees it up. And this one will come out to the 25-yard line. Get some big plays already here in this 3rd quarter.
Some big plays all over the field, really on both sides of the football. That time, Reed rolls out to his right, finds his favorite target, and Malachi Corley lays the boom to get into the end zone. But how about the answer by FAU? They've been doing it all game long. Larry McCammon that time finding a crease within that offensive line and turning on the Jets to get into the end zone. Tied the game at 14. Just come off a field goal for Western Kentucky. They're up 3.
5, 6, 7.
Let's see if FAU has another answer in them in this drive.
Western fans, I know, keeping an eye on that North Texas Rice game. It is underway, no score. Midway through the 1st quarter, they need Rice to beat North Texas, and they need to beat FAU here today, and that'll get them to the Conference USA Championship game Friday at UTSA on CBS Sports Network.
Here they go again. FAU up to the line of scrimmage, showing that tempo that we saw in the 1st half.
Zuberi Mobley, the running back.
That time Zuberi catching the ball on a quick smoke route is what they call it, or screen. Getting up the field, getting a couple yards. putting his team in a third and manageable.
They're 6 of 12 on third downs today. It's third down and 3. Time for Perry. Picks him apart. Staying on his feet is LeJontay Wester.
N'Kosi Perry again. Decision making, precision, poise. Boom, he fakes it out to the right. He wanted to hit the deep pass down the sideline to the right side. Wasn't there. Came back to the middle of the field. Found LeJontay Wester across the middle. And he did the rest, converting for a first down.
That was a 25-yard pickup. This one could have been 6. And Perry knows it.
This is the second time now a wide receiver hasn't been on the same page, looking late. We saw it earlier in the game on a third down to Jamal Edrin. This time, he's trying to hit Jaquan Burton. He wants to hit him right there, just outside of the hash mark, before he goes too far inside to the safety. Just not looking that time. Burton's got to recognize that and look back earlier.
Perry goes to Tony Johnson, and he picks up 9.
I'll tell you what, it feels like N'Kosi Perry right now is in such a rhythm. He's in total control of this offense right now as they're just methodically moving down the field.
Out of the ground, first down and more. Zuberi Mobley yanked down at the 30. No penalty marker. Like, it could have been a high tackle there, but it's a first down nonetheless.
First down nonetheless, and I love how FAU was sticking to the run game, trusting it. It's really been huge for them throughout this football game, staying in it.
That is the second time Western Kentucky's had to burn a timeout on defense
30-second timeout.
because they could not react fast enough. They were going to get a penalty for too many men on the field if that snap got off. But Tyson Summers, the defensive coordinator, along with Tyson Helton, call a timeout.
And that was supposed to be advantage Western Kentucky, right? They were the ones that were supposed to be moving to the line of scrimmage too fast for FAU's defense, but it's showing to be the opposite right now.
They have the most takeaways in the country. They have the most defensive touchdowns in the country. The best scoring defense in the conference, but they have not gotten a takeaway today. And when they don't get multiple takeaways, they're 0-5 this season.
Well, Coach Helton talked about the acquisition of Tyson Summers stepping into that defensive coordinator role, and, you know, said he put a twist into this defense this season. Said he was more of a match man, guys playing more zone because it fits this defense a little bit better.
On first down, it's going back to Perry. Perry will check it down, and a little alligator arm there from Johnny Ford, the running back. Western Kentucky secondary did not bite on that. There was nobody open down the field.
Yeah, they were not fooled at all. You see the receiver, he's open there, but he sees Evans in front of him. He's like, I don't want to take a big hit. Kind of alligator arm that one. But nice job by Western Kentucky defensively, staying home, being disciplined. Nice job by N'Kosi Perry not forcing it, giving your team another chance on second down here.
Yeah, usually on plays like that, you see the quarterback try to go deep regardless if it's there or not. Oh, he tried to zip that one in there, had a couple of receivers in the area, and it's incomplete. 3rd and 10.
It's another ball behind the receiver there. And, you know, putting some nice zip there on the ball. I think he was expecting his receiver to sit in the zone there. Instead, Jamal Edrin decided to come inside more. And again, just that miscommunication between N'Kosi Perry and his targets.
They're right on the edge of field goal range. If they don't get any more yards, Morgan Suarez would have to attempt the longest field goal of the season. Perry, incomplete. He tried to thread that through a bunch of white shirts, and now It's decision time, and it looks like they're going to attempt the field goal. It'll be about a 47-yarder.
Absolutely, kick the field goal. Tried to thread the needle again, and that's a catchable football for LaJohntay Wester. You got to bring that in. You're one of the top playmakers on this team. Yes, it's a tough catch, but these are the type of games now. It's about making plays.
This would be a career-long 47-yarder from Morgan Suarez. It's online, and it is perfect.
Wow. How about this football game, Chris? I mean, we got quarterbacks making plays, receivers, we got our defenses stepping up on both sides, and then the special teams, these kickers.
And it's actually Carter Davis, the backup kicker, who apparently has the bigger leg that they put in there to kick it. Carter Davis, who has kicked off at times this season but had not attempted a field goal, goes in there and just rips it from 47.
Unbelievable. Backup kicker, biggest game of the year for your team, career-long field goal. I mean, extraordinary. I mean, this is championship football that we're watching right now.
It's from right down here, east Fort Lauderdale, which is right down the road, a few miles.
These are the type of games you love to be in. Love to call them, obviously, as well. But, man, this is going to come down to the fourth quarter. Who's going to make the play?
And that's a couple of kickers just blasting them down the middle on the last two drives. That's obviously a career long for Carter Davis in his first attempt of his career. He hits from 47. Right before that, we had Braden Narbison hit a season-long 51-yarder for Western Kentucky as Ben Arbuckle sends his offense back out there in a 17-17 game.
Unbelievable. I mean, explosive plays from Western Kentucky, answers by FAU. You get a career-long, a season-long field goal from Western Kentucky. You get FAU first field goal attempt in the biggest game of the year from 40-plus, and you nail it? That's big time.
Malachi Corley, who has a couple of long touchdown catches, taking it on the ground.
Well, you see that they like to use them in multiple ways, right? Getting the ball on the swing screens. We've seen them go deep, right, for pass catches, and that time getting the handoff.
Now the screen to Dalvin Smith. And Smith picks up the first down across the 40.
Well, that time they had numbers out wide, able to get a receiver out in front to get the block there. And Dalvin Smith able to convert for a first down.
Again, no Kyle Robichaux today for Western Kentucky, their leading rusher, out. They've only tried to run the ball 16 times.
Well, it's interesting with
success.
Yeah, well, it's interesting with Western Kentucky because they don't run the football a lot, but only 2 games this season they've had under 100 yards rushing.
They do keep it on the ground here. That's Davion Irvin Poindexter to the edge. And he is shoved out of bounds by Courtney McBride.
Well, you see there, the initial defender had him in the backfield. Looks like that's Armani Eli Adams, upset with himself, knowing that coming into this football game, tackling was going to be a big emphasis for this football team. Actually, that was Jamie Pedway. After the game last week against Middle Tennessee where they missed a ton of tackles, they've been doing an excellent job today, one of the rare missed tackles that we've seen all game long.
Picks up 7, second down and 3 after Quantavius Leslie goes to the sideline. Left guard. Pressure. Reed uncorks it, and it's incomplete. Ball hit the turf. And again, it's hot. 85, 86 degrees. It's humid. Feels like close to 100 down there on the field. And that's a senior move right there That's the senior Brendan Bordner.
10-yard penalty, remains second down.
And we have a holding penalty on Western Kentucky, and it will be accepted to push him back 10 yards. That's on Marshall Jackson, who was forced into a starting role at right tackle because Wes Dorsey is out today.
I've really been impressed by these DBs for FAU. That time again, Day Hill right there strapped to the receiver to make it a tough throw for Austin Reed.
So instead of 3rd and 3, it's 2nd and 13. They only send 3. Reed has time to the sideline, incomplete. He was looking for Corley, but it's 3rd and long.
That time drifting to his left, but trying to hit the receiver to the right sideline there. Really tough throw. Maybe trying to avoid some coverage there. One of the rare misses that we've seen from Austin Reed today. Had the touchdown down the sideline the first half. Had the big one down the left side, and that one, another miss.
They need the 48-yard line of FAU. 3rd and 13. Three-man rush again. Reed rips it to his man. Jalen Hall, first down.
That time FAU gets caught in a cover 2 where they have the corners playing down, 2 safeties playing deep, everybody else pretty much playing zone in the middle of the field, and Jalen Hall able to find an opening for a first down.
And now going deep. And they're fighting for it. It's picked off. Justin McKithen wins the 50-50 ball.
And we talked about it, Chris. I mean, it's going to come down to making plays in these type of football games, these championship type games. Who's going to make the play? That ball right there, a little underthrown, and what you want to do as the receiver, Michael Matheson that time, I don't know if you're going to be able to reach over the cornerback right there and make the catch. What you want to do is bat the ball down, try to force an incomplete pass in that situation to give your offense another opportunity on the next down. But man, McKitchen goes up, gets that football, makes a play, and has a takeaway for this defense. And FAU is back in business offensively.
Western Kentucky was plus 12 in the turnover margin this season, but they're -2 today. Larry McCammon, the handoff. Maybe a yard. Fired up Western Kentucky linebacker Will Ignat.
Will Ignat that time getting in there, making the stop. Redshirt senior out of Huntsville, Alabama. 46 tackles on the season. Spent 3 seasons at Tennessee before coming over to Western Kentucky, and he's been a big part of this defense.
Coming up on 3 minutes to play in the 3rd. Tie game at 17. Perry from his own goal line lofts it. Incomplete. Intended for Jaquan Burton.
That one's on Nkosi right there. Had an open man. Burton down the sideline. Just kind of threw it behind him. Couldn't get it out there. See him rubbing his thumb right there. We know it's been bothering him throughout the football game, but he's been able to gut it out and really make some exceptional throws throughout the game. And, you know, we've seen FAU be able to answer when Western Kentucky does good things, but are they able to take advantage of their opportunities and find a way to pull ahead?
Have not led all game. Perry dumps it down. McCammon on 3rd and 9. Extra effort got him close, but he's a yard short.
If you feel good about your offense, oh boy, this is a tough call. This is a tough call, but I tell you what, you've been doing good in the run game. Woo! I might go for it here, but it looks like they're going to punt the football.
Well, I want to see you get a coaching job because I want to see some more coaches go for it on 4th and short from inside their own 20.
This is really, yeah, I mean, you're on your own 15-yard line, right? That's really where the decision to punt comes into play. it's just too tough to risk it when the game is so balanced right now.
That's Robert Turbin. I'm Chris Hassel. Another low punt. And it'll bounce for 6 or 7 yards inside the 40, down at the 38-yard line. So they get the turnover, but they're backed up. Nkosi Perry and company cannot pick up a first down. And it's right back to Western Kentucky with 1:59 to go in this third quarter. Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator. They've run 44 plays this season with 5 wide receivers. That's the most in the country. They're using a lot of speed. Both of these teams like to. Fewer tight ends, more wide receivers.
All I know is if I was coming out of high school getting recruited, I wouldn't want to go to these teams.
As a running back.
As a running back.
Maybe switch position. Be a wide receiver like Jalen Hall, who's across midfield, first down yardage. 4th catch of the game for Hall. He's over 50 yards.
Yeah, that time Jalen Hall just on an inside route. They're playing man-to-man. And, you know, this defense has been doing a good job for the most part, but that time Jalen Hall won that battle.
He faked right, coming back left for Hall. And Hall can't haul it in. Day-Day Hill was there in coverage.
Oh, man. Jalen Hall had him beat down the sideline. And just right through his hands, you see him look up before securing the football. You got to look it all the way in. He was looking at the touchdown. He knew he had it. Got to get the ball first, and missed opportunity that time by Jalen Hall.
Reed put it right on the money. On 2nd and 10. Reed rolling out. Now he's going to run it. Dives inside the 40. They'll mark him a couple yards short of the first down.
Third and short here. I would bring some pressure right here if I were the defensive coordinator, if I were Todd Orlando. This 3rd and 2 situation, whether it's run or pass, bring some extra defenders. You see them going into their heavy package. Some of the bigger guys coming onto the field. They need to hurry up and get lined up.
Play clock under 5 on 3rd and 2. It's going to be a run. Evan Anderson has him in the grasp, and he only got back to the line of scrimmage.
How about Evan Anderson? I mean, oftentimes coaches challenge players and players answer positively. Evan Anderson was challenged after that Middle Tennessee game last week. Coach Taggart didn't feel like he played well at all, and he has certainly answered the call today. See him with the big swim move right there. Get off me. I got somewhere to be. I'm making a tackle in the backfield, and he certainly does that time, forcing a 4th down.
And they do not have to run another play here in the quarter if they don't want to.
They'll probably try to draw him off sides. No, they go.
Reed rolling out on 4th and 2. Incomplete. Turnover on downs.
That was going to be intercepted. What a play by this defense. The White Tombs read that thing like a book. Coach talked about his great vision and ball skills. If his own teammate isn't in the way, look how he broke on his football. Look at that. Boom. He runs into his own teammate that time. But a great play defensively. Nonetheless, by this FAU defense, they continue to answer. And maybe we are headed to the 4th quarter. This has been championship ball today.
Now it's been tit for tat today. Every time the Hilltoppers have taken the lead, Willie Taggart's Owls have come back to tie it. 17-17 to start the 4th quarter. After a turnover on downs inside the 40, FAU takes over, and LaJonte Wester is into Hilltopper territory as the Owls look for their first lead of this game.
That time, LaJohntay Wester, here it is again. Boom, just that quick. I call it a fly sweep play. And LaJohntay Wester able to find some space to the outside. Good blocking there on the edge by the receivers. Springing them for a first down.
20-yard pickup on the first play of the fourth quarter with Robert Turbin. I'm Chris Hassel. Nkosi Perry. Oh! Drops it in there perfectly to Carter Boatwright.
Nice accurate pass that time by Nkosi Perry. That time they faked the fly sweep, trying to draw defenders up. Boatwright finds an opening on the wheel route there for another first down.
And now Perry under pressure, escapes one and picks up one. Well, they're just giving the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10.
Good job by West Kentucky that time, put some pressure on Nkosi Perry. Nkosi Perry able to make one guy miss to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage at least. But this is an important drive for FAU, right? They've been able to answer the call. Now can they put themselves ahead?
Larry McCammon, the handoff. Spun out of a tackle. Still going inside the 10. Getting a push to the 5. Oh! Finally blown dead at the 4. This team wants that bowl game.
Boy, are you kidding me? That's running the football right there. You want to know what running the football looks like? Get off me. Fight through tackles, keeping your feet moving, and then the offensive line coming behind you to keep the pile pushing forward. That's what I'm talking about right there.
And right back to him. Touchdown McCammon, and the Owls have their first lead of the game.
And this is what happens when you're able to run the football on a consistent basis. It's like body blows in a boxing match. You wear down the defense over the course of a drive, over the course of a game, and then those holes open up, and they're able to get into the end zone. Got a flag here. Looks like unsportsmanlike conduct somewhere. Guys talking a little trash.
It looks like it's after the play. If that's the case, it stands. It is unsportsmanlike on FAU. So they're asking if they want to take it on the extra point or the kickoff.
I would take it on the extra point.
Rodney Burnett, our referee.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 47. That's number 47's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. The 15-yard kickoff will be assessed on the kickoff.
All right, so they'll keep the extra point here and presumably get better field position. That's Carter Boatwright who made a big catch on that drive. Willie Taggart getting in his face.
Larry McCammon, the third, having his best game of the season so far, especially if you think about what's at stake in this football game. Who was going to step up, and so far, it's been Larry McCammon.
Carter Davis, who hit that 47-yarder, adds the extra point, and FAU's up by 7.
Larry McCammon having the desire and the will to keep turning his feet. Boom, boom, boom. Then gets to the next play, finds some space to the outside, and has stepped up in a big way for this football team.
College football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. That's Nkosi Perry's daughter, Mayari, here for Nkosi's senior day. And he wants one more game in college. If they lose today, this would be it for the senior. But if you win, you head to a bowl game. And Perry, 22 for 32, 220 yards and a touchdown. Also has 19 yards on the ground. And his Owls have the lead for the first time today, 24-17 with 13:08 to go.
Well, after that first drive of the third quarter, you could really see him taking command, taking control, and gaining some momentum within this offense.
Michael Matheson took that short kick. Remember, they had the penalty for unsportsmanlike that backed him up on the kickoff. But this is how Willie Taggart reacted to Carter Boatwright, who picked up that unsportsmanlike penalty. And I'm guessing as a player, you never want the head coach to point the finger right in your face.
Not at all. You don't see Willie Taggart get fired up too much. Not often. But you have all of this momentum in your favor. The last thing you want to do is blow it with penalties like that. Essentially, though, it only cost him 3 yards. They hand it off. A good first down run for Davion Irvin Poindexter. Because if there's no unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, you kick it off from the regular spot. All day it's been going into the end zone. You take it out to the 25. They were backed up 15 yards, and they were only able to take it out to the 28. Yeah.
There it goes, Poindexter again. He picks up the first down.
Well, and going back to your point, Chris, this is why I would have took the penalty on the field goal, because now you make the field goal tougher, moving that unit backwards 15 yards.
Injury to Armani Adams. And we'll take a quick break with 12:31 to go in this extremely important game in Conference USA.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Papa John's. The Shaq-a-Roni is back at Papa John's, fit to feed a Shaq-sized family. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Images from FAU's last victory over Western Kentucky a couple of years ago, right here on this field. FAU trying to become bowl eligible with a win, and Tyson Helton for Western Kentucky looking to keep their title hopes alive. They also need a North Texas loss to Rice. Oh, there goes Irvin Poindexter. Spins inside the 45. And in one possession games, Western Kentucky just 1-3 this season. FAU has a bunch of real tight losses as well. Staying on the ground.
They've run that same play a few times now, 2 in a row really. The last 2 plays where they're pulling a right guard, right tackle to the left, trying to get some big guys in front of the running back, some extra blockers there to that side. And been working. It's a play that's been working well for them throughout this football game. You talk about a gain of 4 on that last play. That's a successful play.
To the ground again. Got a handle on Irvin Poindexter's leg. Good sure tackle by Jalen Wester.
Western Kentucky now adjusting their game plan here, running the football, making it a priority on this drive. FAU has been doing a decent job against their passing attack for the most part, right? Western Kentucky has their explosive plays, but Florida Atlantic playing some sound defensive football. I like the adjustment with Western Kentucky. It puts them in this 3rd and manageable situation right now.
3rd and 4, play clock winding down. Reed to throw. Jump pass too high, intended for Dalvin Smith, and it's 4th and 4 from the 38-yard line.
The adjustment that Todd Orlando has made with this defense today, working so far, playing tight coverage. I mentioned it earlier, these guys are playing up close to the receivers pre-snap, and it's really affecting the timing. This Western Kentucky offense is used to defenses playing back, and they're able to, boom, get the ball out when they want to. When you're in guys' face and you're keeping them at the line of scrimmage, it disrupts their timing.
Todd Orlando just told Willie Taggart he wants a timeout, and they got it. With 1 second on the play clock, it's FAU that calls the timeout. Ahead of a 4th and 4 with Western Kentucky down by 7. We're coming right back here on CBS Sports Network. Biggest play of the game right here with 10:44 to go. Western Kentucky down 7. faced with a 4th and 4 at the 38-yard line of the Owls.
I really like the timeout that they took. They've not lined up in this formation, Western Kentucky, all game long. It was a different look that they've shown throughout the game. Good timeout to be able to make your adjustments and decide what you want to do defensively.
They're 0 for 2 on 4th downs today. Reed to throw and completes it. Jalen Hall makes the catch and the drive stays alive.
Yeah, basically what they're doing here is creating a high-low. They send one guy out to the flat and then another to a corner route right on top of that, forcing the defender to make a decision there. Nice read by Austin Reed. Nice catch by Jalen Hall getting the first down. Big play.
16-yard pickup. Corley in motion. Reed rolls that way, throws back the other way, and they make the play in the backfield.
That's got to be a block in the back, or at least a crackback block. I mean, that was right in the referee's face, and then you got a guy injured.
Well, it's a loss of 4 or 5 anyway.
Look at this right here. Boom. They throw the throwback screen. Look at this. What is, if that's not a block in the back, that's at least a crackback block, which are both illegal and should be 15 yards.
Joey Belgian was the one who made the catch, and that is
Latrell Jean, it looks like, down
made some
there.
Big plays today too.
He's got 2.5 sacks on the season, and I mean he read the reverse play earlier in the football game, had the big tip on the 3rd down, getting his hands up in Austin Reed's face, and he's been a huge factor for this defense. Let's take another look at it. So Belgian is going to fake like he's pass blocking, then just kind of ease out there. Here, look at that. Here comes Jean, and that's clearly a block in the back. And if you don't want to call that, call it a crackback block. Like I mentioned, both illegal, right in front of the referee face. Nonetheless, FAU defensively not fooled by what Western Kentucky was trying to do there, and able to still make a play for a big-time loss.
And now behind the chains after the loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Western Kentucky has been in FAU territory 9 of their 12 drives.
Man, I would dial up the pressure right here, man. Bring some extra defenders. Doesn't look like they'll do it. They rush 3.
Reed, a great pass to the sideline for the first down. It's Hall again.
Pass complete to number 0, Jalen Hall.
Hall once again finding an opening in that zone. And listen, if you're Tyler Orlando, you got to continue to be aggressive, my man. You got to put pressure on Austin Reed. You can't let him sit in the pocket like that.
Urban Poindexter, the carry, stood up at the 6. It'll be 2nd and goal.
And here's the other thing too, Chris. You've been doing a great job in this football game in man coverage, right? The times that you've gotten beat really were against zone. The big 4th down play, they're in zone. That last play, they're in zone. Continue to do what's working for you so you can finish this game the way that you want and send your team to a bowl game.
First time in the red zone today. They have a couple of 45-plus yard touchdown passes and a long field goal. On 2nd and goal, Reed to throw, batted up in the air, and almost intercepted. Jalen Wester had it.
Oh man, that time they brought some pressure and they went to the man coverage. Not able to get to the quarterback, so he gets his hands up. That's what you're taught as a defender, rushing the passer. Almost had the interception. Look at here, boom, 1-on-1 man coverage. I mean, look at there. I mean, if that's going to be a 50-50 ball, your defense has already won one of those in the 3rd quarter. Let these guys match up and play.
3rd and goal from the 6. Reed over the middle, incomplete. It was tipped. Dwight Toombs the second on the good coverage. And now do you kick a field goal, cut it to 4, or go for the tie?
Well, they line up in the bunch. They knew they were going to be in man. This is an incredible read by number 31, Dwight Toombs the second. Again, great ball skills, able to read the quarterback there and get a hand on the football. I would kick the field goal in this situation personally, but these coaches, they get antsy. I don't want to say desperate, that's too strong of a word, but I would take the 3 points right here.
Potentially conference title hopes on the line on 4th and goal. Reed, incomplete, intended for Simon.
Once again, nice adjustment by defensive coordinator Todd Orlando. You're getting beat in the zone. Anytime you line up in the zone, these receivers have done a great job finding space, completing passes, sitting in the pocket. When you're a man, you've been the most successful. Nice adjustment by this defense, and back-to-back pass breakups, giving the ball back, 24-17 FAU.
College football on CBS Sports Network presented by the Home Depot. FAU just came up with a huge defensive stop on 4th and goal, preventing Western Kentucky from tying this score. And now the Owls have the football in a 7-point lead with 8:26 to go, but they're backed up at their own 6. Larry McCammon, 100-yard day already. Western Kentucky needs a win and a North Texas loss to get to the Conference USA Championship game against UTSA. Right now they're losing and North Texas is winning. It's 14-7. The Mean Green have just broken a 7-7 tie with a touchdown with 4:26 to go in the second quarter. That's what's at stake for Western Kentucky. For FAU, they're just playing for their lives. They need a win to get another one and a bowl trip, which would be their 4th in the last 6 seasons. And Willie Taggart made no bones about it. He said this would be monstrous for the trajectory of the program. It would show progress heading to the American Conference, and with such a young team, all those extra practices would help in development.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that he does with his football team is on Thursdays, the guys that don't play, they scrimmage every Thursday. You know, I personally hadn't heard that before. Usually you might get a couple of those throughout the season, but he does it every week. And, you know, with the transfer portal and everything that happens in college football these days, he felt like it was important to constantly be evaluating the young talent of your football team, getting these guys the live reps, right? Because they're not getting them in the game. And, you know, that's why he's one of the great developers in all of college football. And I mean, you can see the bright future that this team has.
Oh, Brendan Bordner's all right. One of 6 scholarship seniors walking here on senior day. Kosi Perry, one of the other seniors.
So big drive here for FAU. An opportunity to really kind of step on the necks of Western Kentucky.
Good tackle by Trey Shaw, the cornerback, and it will be 3rd down and 6.
That time, Western Kentucky brought the corner blitz off N'Kosi Perry's right side. He's able to get in there, stop the run for a short gain, and this is a big 3rd down play right now, right? Because if you don't get any yards, you punt. This good field position for Western Kentucky, and obviously a conversion keeps the drive going.
Perry all by himself in the shotgun against a 4-man rush. Perry pulls it down, trying to run for it, and gets crunched. Will Ignat makes the stop. There's a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage as well. Credit to Perry for going for it.
Holding, offense number 78, penalty's been declined, 4th down.
He gave his all to try to get to the line to gain. It could not. 4th down.
Big time stop by Will Ignat that time. We know how dangerous N'Kosi Perry can be with his feet. Couldn't find any of his receivers down the field. Decided to try to take it himself, but Will Ignat there to answer the call. Not this time. I need the ball back to my offense.
Riley Thompson to punt it again with Jalen Hall deep to receive. Line drive kick that's going to bounce again, and then scooped up late at the 34-yard line by Hall.
You can tell Jalen Hall really wanted to have an opportunity to return it, but you know, this punt unit is doing a good job punting the football towards the sidelines, and he wants to use this line drive type of punt so that the ball can hit the ground and roll. Jalen Hall, a dangerous weapon for this Western Kentucky football team. That's why they got him back there. Definitely want to keep it away from him.
And now Todd Orlando's defense on the field again. At home this season, giving up fewer than 19 points per game, and their turnover margin now +6 because they've added a couple more today. It's a handoff on 1st down. Western Kentucky has been in FAU territory 9 times, and they've only scored 3 times.
Unbelievable. You get into your opponent's territory, that's the opportunity to really take advantage. They're only just above 60% touchdown conversion in the red zone all season long. Coach Tyson Helton talked about. That's one of the things that he was really wanting to improve throughout this football team, and highlighted it going into this football game today.
Swing out pass to the running back, and Irvin Poindexter trying to reverse field. He does. Poindexter with the 1st down, and there are no flags. A lot of times when you see that, you'll see a flag on the offensive line, but didn't get one there. Big play.
Well, certainly someone got away with a hold. I couldn't see the number, but a missed call right there by the referee, but good play for Western Kentucky.
And another one here on 1st down to Jalen Hall, 7th catch of the game. He's nearing 100 yards.
You see these defensive linemen starting to tap out here for Florida Atlantic. A crucial drive for Western Kentucky, obviously, down 7 points. Need to put something together to find a way to get into the end zone.
2nd down and 2. Their 10th drive now into FAU territory.
If I'm Todd Orlando, defensive coordinator for Florida Atlantic, continue to be aggressive now. There it is.
Irvin Poindexter, 1st down and more. Poindexter, oh, he cut the wrong way, or he might have had a touchdown. He cut right into the defender.
We'll give Dwight Toombs the 2nd credit. Nice run by Poindexter, but he baited him to cut the ball back inside and was able to make that tackle.
Incomplete at the goal line, Armani Adams.
Boy, this offense goes fast, don't they? Almost an interception. Undercut the route that time, and we've seen a couple drops by this FAU defense that could have been turnovers for him.
2nd and 10, 4:44 to go. Western Kentucky down by 7. On the ground, Irvin Poindexter gets 1. That's it. Smothered by Jalen Wester.
Jalen Wester that time, along with Courtney McBride, getting in on the tackle, forcing a 3rd and long right here.
3rd and 9. Todd Orlando said if we can limit the explosive plays, and make open field tackles will have a good chance to win this game, and they've done just that. Reed rolling out, throwing to the end zone, incomplete. Diving effort made by Malachi Corley, but now it's 4th down.
That's the second time we've seen the ball go to Malachi Corley, just off his fingertips. Oh man, just outside his frame right there. But you have to give credit to FAU in this secondary. I mean, they are step for step with these receivers for the most part today. They're forcing tough throws for Austin Reed and tough catches for the receivers.
LT Sanders is the running back. Western is 1 for 4 on 4th downs today. Reed will throw to the end zone. It's caught, and it's a touchdown. Jalen Hall.
Western Kentucky. 22-yard touchdown pass from Reed to number 0, Jalen Hall.
Incredible. What a game we're witnessing today. Jalen Hall. I mean, look, Austin Reed is saying, look, if we're going to make plays, we got to make plays. And this time, Jalen Hall gets the win. I mean, we've seen this chess match go back and forth all game long between the Western Kentucky receivers and the FAU defenders, the secondary, playing man coverage. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, and that time that was a win by Jalen Hall.
They're going to review it to make sure you got a foot in.
Well, this is a catch all the way to me. I didn't see anything really. He secured the football. He got a foot in bounds. This is a catch all the way. Boom, there it is, catch. Knee down, foot down.
We'll see if the ball moves at all, though. Did he maintain control of that?
Let's see here. Boom, catch.
Ball's
foot down.
Moving. Ball's moving.
To me, he still has enough control of that football.
And the question becomes,
to be a touchdown.
Yeah, and you have to have enough to overturn it here. Remus Kazika, our replay official. This is a monstrous call because it's 4th down. If this is overturned, it's FAU ball.
And that's excellent defense. I mean, he swipes down at Day-Day Hill, swipes down at Jalen Hall's hand. I mean, that's why the ball's moving in the first place, right? Swipes down at his hand. I mean, it's just a strong catch that time by Jalen Hall. But to me, although the ball moves slightly, I think he secures it enough for that to be a catch and a touchdown.
All right, so you've got it as a catch. I've got this incomplete.
You disagreeing with me?
I'm disagreeing with you, Turbo. And
okay,
we'll await the call. Just a monstrous call. If it stands, they're an extra point away from tying the game with 3:56 to go. If it's overturned, FAU gets the ball back, and Western Kentucky only has 1 timeout. Here we go.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Turbo had it.
Boy, oh boy. Here it is right here, boom. Swipes down at the hand, great defense, great defense. But secures it enough. Keeps that ball on the football for a catch. And
there just wasn't enough there, according to Remus Kazika, our replay official.
Should have bet something
to overturn it. I think if that's called incomplete on the field, it stays that way. Extra point ties it. And Western Kentucky's title game hopes are still alive. Tied up late. What a dandy of a ball game we have for you. 24-24. Western Kentucky just tied it up on 4th down. And they're kicking it away to FAU with everything on the line for both of these teams. Uh-oh, they fumbled it! And get on it at the 20. Almost disaster for the Owls.
Saw that coming. Nobody's communicating here. You see, He's trying to call a fair catch.
And it's
Jaquan Burton, but his teammate doesn't see him, and almost a huge turnover for FAU.
Western Kentucky needs a win and a Rice win over North Texas to get to the conference championship game. And looky here, it's tied at 14 at halftime between Rice and North Texas. For FAU, they need a win to get to a bowl game. From the 20-yard line, Perry. Out to Jamal Edrin. He picks up 6.
This was excellent by N'Kosi Perry right here. Earlier in the football game, they brought the corner off the right side. He was able to get in, stop the run for a short gain. That time he saw it early and threw it out to his receiver, and he was able to get a nice gain on first down.
It's an injured Hilltopper way back inside the 10-yard line. Looking at that right knee, didn't get the number yet on the injured player. 3:44 to go and a 2nd down and 4 upcoming for FAU. All right, that's Dom Bradshaw, the cornerback, redshirt senior out of Dallas, Texas. Putting weight on it, that's good.
Yeah, he was the one coming off the edge there on the blitz. And just got shaken up on the play.
N'Kosi Perry, one of 6 scholarship seniors here for a very young FAU team on senior day, looking to earn a bowl berth. This is their last chance. In their last Conference USA game before heading to the American. 2nd and 4. Perry tucks it, runs it for the first down, and dives ahead to the 36.
Another smart play that time by N'Kosi Perry. Fakes it to the running back. Wants to hit his receiver down the field. Nobody open. Tucks it and gets a first down.
Larry McCammon able to pick up 4 on first down. He's up to 116 yards on the ground. His 4th 100-yard rushing game in his career.
Needed 133 coming into the game to get to 1,000 for the season, and approaching that closer and closer.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Devin Singletary in 2018.
Devin Singletary, pretty good running back for the Buffalo Bills.
Pretty good. 3rd and 3. Perry hops it. Incomplete. And now they'll likely have to punt it here with 2:41 to go.
I would punt this football right here. It looks like they're going to go for it. You have to have a play that you absolutely love. And it looks like they're going to punt. Somebody agrees with me.
Yeah, the offense on the field for a little bit of time to think about it, but now the punt team is out. Riley Thompson, who's been kicking those low-line drives that have taken FAU bounces and have been unreturnable for Jalen Hall so far today. This one is a big boot into the end zone, a little bit too big, so it'll come out to the 20. 2:33 to go, and Western Kentucky has the football. Let's see who's doing some of the dirty work in today's game, brought to you by Coyote Tractor, and it's Larry McCammon.
Larry McCammon showing what it is to be a running back. I wasn't going to say it, but I got to tell the truth, man. That was Marshawn Lynch-esque right there on that play, and then finding the crease to the outside and getting into the end zone. Having an excellent game thus far.
But will it be enough? Western Kentucky ball, tie game, 2:33 to go.
Well, here you go, FAU defensively.
Irvin Poindexter got a block from Simon, but Simon didn't get enough of the defender, Dwight Toombs. That could have been a bigger play, but it is a 9-yard pickup.
Western Kentucky has found something in this Florida Atlantic defense that they feel like they can take advantage of in the run game. This fourth quarter has been huge for them, running the football. They've made some game-breaking, saving tackles, but you got to be able to stop the run.
With 2 minutes to go, Irvin Poindexter reaches across to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, clock stops. Western only has 1 timeout because they had to burn 2 on defense.
Number 21, Jim Lester. Number 16,
But they're not in any hurry right now. They don't want to leave FAU anytime.
I mean, all you need is a field goal to win this football game, and right now you're running the football successfully. Keep running the football. Keep running it. Wear this defense down.
It's a toss over the middle and through the hands. A penalty marker flies. Matheson was the intended receiver.
We'll see if they decide that this was uncatchable, but Romaine Mungan did get there just a tad early. I felt could be a pass interference here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible player downfield, offense for 52. Pass interference, defense number 2. Those fouls offset the remaining first down.
That's a killer if you're Western Kentucky.
Now you would have had it up near midfield. Instead, just do it over back at the 35. Again, Western Kentucky needs a win to stay in the conference title race. Rice and North Texas tied at halftime. If Rice can win that game and Western can win this one, they'll play UTSA for the championship. Dalvin Smith picks up 4.
Nice pursuit that time by the defense. They were in the zone, and if you notice, Malachi Corley goes in motion from the right side to the left side. Nobody goes with him. What that's telling Austin Reed is that the defense is in the zone. If somebody goes with them, that's a man indicator. Sets them up for what they want to do offensively.
Need 25 more yards or so. Braden Narvison hit from 51 going the other way earlier in this game. Wind not a factor. Reed, pump fake, now down the middle. Oh, it's dropped!
Wow.
Corley, their best receiver, the top receiver in the conference, with a huge drop.
Well, you don't see that. Here they are again in the zone, and I mean, that's right in the bread basket, and he's unable to haul that one in. And, you know, again, defensive coordinator for Florida Atlantic, Tyler Orlando, I understand you want to mix up your coverages, but the zone has not been your best scheme so far in this game. Allow your guys to lock up in man-to-man. Put some pressure on the quarterback. There's a man indicator right there.
3rd and 6. Reed, incomplete. No flags. Coverage from David Hill. And now Western has to punt.
And we talked about this chess match, right? David Hill got beat for a touchdown earlier, right? That time he's on man coverage. He's playing them tight. Look at this, boom. Breaks down with the receiver. May have gotten away with a little bit of a hold, but I love the fact that the referees are letting these guys play. Gets a hand in there. Knocks the ball down and forces Western Kentucky to punt.
Tom Ellard. LaJohntay Wester makes the fair catch at the 27-yard line. There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
And again, man coverage showing to be your best coverage on defense.
Illegal formation, kicking team. Penalty's been declined. First down.
38 seconds left. We have more football coming up next. UAB looking to become bowl eligible on the road at Louisiana Tech. And then later on tonight, Air Force and San Diego State out in the Mountain West, right here on CBS Sports Network. UAB was one of the favorites in Conference USA coming into the season. They've been snake bit in tight games this year, so they need to win that at Louisiana Tech to become bowl eligible. FAU has lost several close games this season, 3 losses by a combined 8 points, including a game at Purdue, a team that may end up in the Big Ten championship game.
Well, this is a competitive young team and certainly one with a bright future, and they've got a great opportunity in front of them right now. Be aggressive in this situation. You got 2 timeouts. Attack the middle of the field. 38 seconds. You got plenty of time.
So they will be able to use that penalty and tack it on to the end of the kick. Originally, they told Willie Taggart you couldn't do that. So that moves him up to the 32-yard line. And FAU used backup kicker Carter Davis earlier in this half to kick a 47-yard field goal.
And I tell you what, those 5 yards matter, especially in situations like this.
2 timeouts. Perry dumps it down. Running room for McCammon. McCammon gets the sideline. He's out near midfield.
Nice decision that time by N'Kosi Perry. Western Kentucky playing deep. Boom, hits his playmaker on the check down. Larry McCammon doing it all. Run game, pass protection, catching the football. Huge gain on first down.
17-yard pickup. They need 15 or 20 more yards to have a chance at a field goal. Perry dumps it down again. McCammon goes down at the 46-yard line, and FAU will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts with 23 seconds left.
Yep, nice timeout call right there.
Gonna take a quick 30-second break and come back. For those of you tuning in for the UAB Louisiana Tech game, you'll be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. As soon as it kicks off, we'll get you out there as soon as this one ends. 24-24, 23 seconds left. It's FAU football, 2nd down and 5 at the 46 of the Hilltoppers.
You can still attack the middle of the field if you're FAU.
Jaquan Burton on the catch down to the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 36, right on the edge of field goal range.
Get up and spike it here.
They do spike it with 14 seconds left, and they still have 1 timeout.
With 1 timeout, 14 seconds, you can still utilize the entire field right now to get closer there on a field goal try for your kicker.
You could even still potentially run the ball.
You could potentially run the ball, but only if you feel comfortable enough that you're in range for your field goal kicker right now.
From here, it would be a 53 or 54-yarder.
I would think they would want to get it into the 40s.
Perry under pressure, throws it away.
Smart play by N'Kosi Perry right there.
Perry's pass.
9 seconds left. 1 timeout for FAU. 3rd down and 10.
You have the entire field to your disposal still, but with 9 seconds left to go in this football game, you have to be able to get the ball out quick. Look for another check down play, potentially to Larry McCammon right here. But whoever catches this football has to get down right now and get that timeout called.
It is a handoff. Here goes McCammon to the outside and out of bounds with 4 seconds left, and picks up critical yardage that will make this about a 46-yard attempt.
It was a nice run that time by Larry McCammon. The only thing that I would say, the only critique that I have here is get downhill. You still have a timeout left. You don't have to get out of bounds in this situation. I think if you would have gotten downhill, you would have gotten a few more yards, making it, I mean, any yard closer is better for your kicker.
Timeout called before the kick. Carter Davis, a backup kicker for FAU, surprisingly came out earlier and kicked a 47-yard field goal. It was right down the middle, and it had some extra juice on it as well. The usual kicker is Morgan Suarez, who has a long of 43. The UAB Louisiana Tech game is underway. It's now streaming free on the CBS Sports app and at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over, and it will be over if the freshman can make this kick for Willie Taggart and send the Owls to a bowl game.
I mean, you're talking about a freshman kicker who just kicked his first kick earlier in the football game to tie it, and now he has an opportunity to win it here with 4 seconds left to go in the football game.
Wind not a factor. From 46 yards, Carter Davis is wide, and we're going to overtime. Never had a chance. Made a big kick earlier in this half from 47, but unable to convert with the game on the line. And overtime is on the way in a tie game with a ton at stake. It's overtime between FAU and Western Kentucky, tied at 24 apiece. Willie Taggart's team had a chance to walk it off with a game-winning field goal, but it went wide from 46 yards. So OT, Tyson Helton's Hilltoppers still in the running for the conference championship. As we look at the new overtime rules this season, you're probably familiar with them by now, but things are different. In the second overtime, teams have to go for 2 if they score a touchdown, and then the third overtime and beyond just becomes a 2-point conversion party.
You gotta love this. I mean, really, for both teams, right? Obviously, it's disappointing to miss the field goal at the end, and you know, you can attest that to a couple of things. Obviously, nerves, young freshman kicking the biggest kick of his life, but also as a coach, maybe not having a full understanding of where he likes the football, right? A lot of times you'll see quarterbacks maybe sneak the ball to the right side of the hash mark or the left, depending on where their kicker likes to kick the football. Didn't see that adjustment with FAU that time. And
all right, in overtime, each team gets 1 timeout to use. Western Kentucky, you'll be calling the toss. The winner may not defer. Your options are, if you win the toss, offense, defense, or which end of the field. What is your call? Heads? It is the head. Defense. Which end of the field you want to play on? Swap sides. FAU is on offense first. Check it up. Here you go.
We saw the records. Western Kentucky historically good in overtime, but they played an overtime game at Indiana this season and lost 33-30. That's the only overtime game this season for either side. And everything on the line right now with Rice and North Texas tied at 14, getting ready to start the second half. Western Kentucky would be in the Conference USA Championship game if they can win this and if Rice can beat North Texas. A lot of scoreboard watching going on right now.
A lot of scoreboard watching. We asked Coach Helton if he was going to be getting any updates as he was playing. Obviously not while he's coaching the football game, but once the game was over, especially if they were able to come out with a win, he says, I don't want to see it until both games are done.
This would put a lot more pressure on North Texas in the second half to pull that one out against Rice if Western can end up on top. FAU to start on offense. Perry is hitting the backfield, gets away, and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Wow. How he got away from that and out of that sack. Unbelievable. Took a shot. I know that hand is bothering him right there. I thought they were going to come out and run the football. Decided to go play action pass that time. Looked like he had a man, but good defense by Western Kentucky.
On 2nd and 10, 4-man rush. Perry to Edrin. Got it! Touchdown, Owls!
Are you kidding me? We talked about it. Jamal Edrin, the 50-50 balls. Who's going to make the plays? And Jamal Edrin tapping into his inner Randy Moss that time. And boom, look at this. Give me that. Took the ball off the top. Came down with it, secured it. You see his teammate tapping his head. What an incredible play and catch by Jamal Edrin. And how about N'Kosi Perry, right? Taking a shot after that first down play, shaking up, and then delivering an accurate football for a touchdown.
Extra point is good, and now the pressure on Western Kentucky. For Edrin, it's his 2nd touchdown catch of the game, and this one was awesome.
Well, you see N'Kosi here. He says, I don't care about my thumb hurting. I got things to do. I got a bowl game that I'm trying to get to. Jamal Edrin says, don't trip, bruh. I got you. Just throw it up. And man, what a spectacular catch by Jamal Edrin that time.
Once again, UAB Louisiana Tech is underway. It's available streaming on the CBS Sports app and at cbssports.com/CBSSN. As soon as we're done here, we'll get you out there to Ruston. Carter Blackburn, Tom Herman on the call as UAB looks to become bowl eligible, just like FAU is looking to do right now. They're one stop away. Austin Reed has to respond with a touchdown. Incomplete, off the hands of Malachi Corley. For as great as Corley's been today, 7 catches, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. How many passes have we seen like that that are just off of his fingertips?
No, I mean, I was just thinking to myself, Chris, another miss that time by Austin Reed, and I thought the ball was a little late coming out of his hand. But Malachi Corley was open for a good 3 or 4 steps as Austin Reed was rolling out to his right, and that time out of his range.
FAU scored on a 25-yard touchdown pass in their first possession of overtime. Western Kentucky has to answer. Reed rolls out right, throws it back, shoulder, and caught inside the 5 by Corley.
Tough play to defend right there for TJ. They run the out and up, and I tell you what, TJ Young plays that perfectly. It's just hard to defend a back shoulder throw like that.
Quick snap. Irvin Poindexter the carry. Down to the 1-yard line.
Attacking his defense with the run. Davion Irvin Poindexter has really come on in the 4th quarter there, and I certainly feel as if Western Kentucky is going to continue to utilize him here in this overtime. But going back to FAU for a second, we talked to Coach Willie Taggart, and he said the one position group that has really come on, I mean, Jamal Edrin is a redshirt freshman, and this receiving corps has really done a better job of growing and getting better throughout the season.
A timeout was called before the play clock ran out. Western Kentucky was taking their sweet time, but somebody had their eye on the clock before the penalty. 2nd and goal from the 1 coming up. What do we do, Robert? If you're Western Kentucky, Tyson Helton and offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle.
I go back to that rollout play to the right. It seems to have been working for you. And there's a couple of different ways you can do it, right? You can hit Malachi Corley on the out route, or you can hit him on the back shoulder on the wheel, the way that you did on that second down play to start the drive.
Gotta also wonder if they have a play in their back pocket if they score a touchdown to immediately go for 2 in the win. Corley, your leading receiver, 8 catches, 127 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. 2nd and goal from the 1.
There he is in the slot.
Reed's gonna run it. Touchdown! And they immediately run out the kicker and then call it back. So let's see. Braden Narveson was running out onto the field and they yanked him back.
I do not agree with this call right here.
So they might be going for the win here.
I get it. I get it.
Helton wants them to reset the play clock, which is under 15 seconds now.
But
here we
I would
go.
not go for it here. If I'm the defense, I'm blitzing.
A timeout is called as Western Kentucky showed some trickery with Reed leaving the backfield. And so now you got time to regroup. Do you still send the offense out to go for the win?
I don't agree with this call, Chris. Nice run here. Austin Reed just takes it up the middle and dives into the end zone for a touchdown. And the reason why I would kick the field goal here is I mean, you have the Conference USA Championship on the line here. If you win, you have a chance, right? You have to depend on North Texas losing, but if you lose, it's over. You're going to a bowl game, that's great, but come on, baby. I know you want to be Conference USA champions.
And right now, that game is tied between North Texas and Rice in the 3rd quarter. Western Kentucky is going for the win.
I look for Malachi Corley to run an out route here.
Reed rolls right, throws, caught! Hilltoppers win! And their conference title hopes are alive.
Reed, to number 6, Joshua Simon. Final score, Western Kentucky.
Heartbreaking.
32.
Joshua Simon, a touchdown machine with the 2-point conversion to win it.
I felt like somebody was going to go to the out route.
We can't wait to see you back here for the spring game.
What they did was they lined 3 receivers out wide to the right side. Everybody comes in. They release Joshua Simon out to the right side. They get a nice rub on TJ Young that time, springing him open for a touchdown. Well, a 2-point conversion, rather.
So Western Kentucky does their job. They're in the title game if Rice can knock off North Texas. It's currently tied at 14 in the 3rd. For Robert Turbin and our entire crew, I'm Chris Hassel. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. UAB and Louisiana Tech is now